Tell me, for whom do you fight? How very glib. And do you believe in Eorzea? Eorzea's unity is forged of falsehoods. Its city-states are built on deceit, and its faith is an instrument of deception. It is not but a cobweb of lies. To believe in Eorzea is to believe in nothing. In Eorzea, the beast tribes often summon gods to fight in their stead, though your comrades only rarely respond in kind, which is strange, is it not? Are the 12 otherwise engaged? I was given to understand they were your protectors. If you truly believe them your guardians, why do you not repeat the trick that served you so well at Carteneau and call them down? They will answer, so long as you lavish them with crystals and gorge them on ether. Your gods are no different from those of the beasts. Icons, everyone, except but this, and you will see how Eorzea's faith is bleeding the land dry. Nor is this unknown to your masters.
I thought that was the shortest song. Good day, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Viper of Viperland, and I'm back. It's Great Ace Attorney, Final Trial. We hit a de facto conclusion of sorts last week. Yup. And I didn't realize it at the time, but the other reason we had to end here, besides him literally stating it was a de facto conclusion of sorts, no music. So it was meant to be. So yeah, just gonna keep it going. Also, hey Ramen, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. Presumably, I mean, not even presumably, you've already said it. Alchemying, hope it's going well. I see you're already making items of mass destruction as early as possible, because if the game doesn't stop you, why not? Why not make an item that does 2 hits of 2500 in the beginning bits of the game? The game doesn't stop you from doing it. You need a nuke of each element. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, what's one nuke? What if they resist that? Or worse, absorb it? Nah, you gotta be ready with all of them. Indeed, it would appear that we have reached a de facto conclusion of sorts. You'd be ashamed to not target weaknesses. Yeah, I know, exactly. These witnesses have no involvement in the murder of the victim. Yeah, I know. Imagine if you had an entire game where enemies were either immune to physical or immune to magic. Just straight down the middle, basically all enemies. Just imagine that. Just imagine that game. There's a reason I did not finish part 3 of the original Dot Hack quadrilogy. I loved the first 2 parts, but man, that third part, that was rough. That was rough. As that said, if they ever remake those and put them out together for like $20 for all 4 games in a package, let's be honest, probably $30 at this rate, I'll try it again. And again, I liked the first 2 parts a bunch, as proven somewhat ironically by the defense. I hereby call an end to the cross-examination. Well, hold it! Yeah, I was about to say. Pardon me, my lord, but with your permission, I would like to pose one further question to the witness. Kazuma! What question, counsel? It concerns the events of 10 years ago. I believe you would have been present at the very significant execution that was carried out at the time. Also, hey Potts, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. Of course they're going to testify again. 10 years ago. Execution of the professor, Genshin Asogi. I want to know exactly what your involvement was. Oh. Answer me, man. One moment, counsel. Is this related to the current case? Naturally. It is the prosecution's belief this case and the events of 10 years ago are inextricably linked. No. A case in a Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game, that's the final case of the game / set of games that really make up just one longer game that's related to a case 10 years ago? I don't believe it. Hey, they do something and they do it well, why change the winning formula? No, Potts. Crazy. Kazuma, you're not yourself. You're not as calm and collected as usual. Poor Kazuma-sama. No wonder he's acting this way. Mr. Virgil's memories of what happened 10 years ago. Or Vigil's. Sorry. I was thinking of that storm that's approaching meme. Would tell the tale of Genshin Isogi's last moments. His own father. No, I do understand that. But even so. Damn, that's crazy, I know. Because Professor Isogi, or Prosecutor Isogi, do you genuinely believe that this question requires an answer in order to learn the truth behind Inspector Gregson's death? I need you to trust me, please. Very well, then the defense has no objection. I see. In that case, you will answer the question witness. The truth is, I don't remember what voice exactly I gave him, but yeah, roll with it. I remember very little of that time. You've forgotten! I'm sorry to say, yes. As I said, I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. But for some peculiar reason, my memory of the events leading up to that moment is extremely hazy. Does that not strike you as strange, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? Well, 10 years is a long time, but to have forgotten the reason why he left such an important job. Yes, you're right. And not only that, Mr. Vigil's claim contradicts what we already know. The human spirit is a fragile thing. It's broken all too easily, which is why we have a tendency to wrap it up for protection. Sorry, the human spirit? I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean. Excuse me. The weakest excuse, maybe, yeah, I mean, definitely. When we experience pain and suffering that we feel unable to bear, we block it out, obliterate it from our memories, seal it away. But it never truly leaves us. If the seal is broken, the memories resurface, and when they do, that fragile spirit may finally be crushed. But I really don't... Kazuma-sama. But if it must be crushed, then so be it, because the truth will not stay buried. It's coming out, one way or another. Right, now I understand. It's clear what his intentions are. He means to expose the truth at any cost. Perhaps if I pointed out the contradiction in what Mr. Vigil claimed earlier, it might cause some crucial memories to return to him. But should I? So what's the contradiction? I mean, I get... what evidence do we have to prove the contradiction? Yeah, not the picture, definitely. Definitely not the ticket. Chief Warder Daily Vigil is relieved of his post with immediate effect for having violated Clause 132 of Her Majesty's Code of Conduct I can read tonight for prisons. All rights to redundancy pay and other financial benefits are fully revoked. Reason for dismissal: aiding and abetting the escape from this prison of Commandant Blank just prior to his execution. Details of this escape are still being investigated. Full cooperation with the inquiries will be expected. Additional notes: indications are that the jailbreak plot was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. It's believed that the convict engaged in some form of negotiation with the prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of information regarding these negotiations will be demanded. I feel like it's that, but... no, not that. Not done. It's gotta be. Alright, well, should I present the evidence or not? Yeah, no. We're here for the truth. So, I have no idea how this is going to go. But this is a court of law. And I have a duty to pursue the truth. Exactly. Yep. Mr. Vigil, I'd like you to take a look at this. Evidence that clearly contradicts your version of events. Watch me be wrong, too, but it's gotta be this. It has to be. That's the only piece of evidence other than a photo that we have of his past. Like, we know he's married, but there's nothing in that photo that would prove he's lying. It has to be. It has to be, and if I'm wrong, then it's shotgun approach, because it's all I got. Just a few moments ago, you made the following statement. Hold on, paper. I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. Well, yes. In other words, you claim to have left the post of chief warder of your own volition. Oh yeah, okay. It's not just that he didn't forget, it's that he's straight up lying about how it went down. Also knows, 1 second. I always put my controller on my lap, and then it often bumps a bumper, or tries to fall off my lap. Well, yes, of course. Why? Tell me. Do you remember seeing this document before? No, I don't. This is a dismissal notice ordering the immediate termination of a prison staff member's employment. Dismissal notice? And the name on the notice is yours, Mr. Vigil. What? It's mine. I love that the weak-ass slaps have transferred to him. So you didn't resign from the prison service at all. For some reason, you were dismissed as chief warder from Barclay. No, there's been some mistake. I'm sure. Oh, that one hit. I'm sure I tendered my resignation. This dismissal notice is nonsense. Isn't it? You were forcibly dismissed. There must have been good reason. Clearly, you did something. Mr. Vigil, it's time to break the seal and have you remember. According to the few remaining records, the final execution that you supervised was on the 17th June 10 years ago. And on that day, something very serious took place at Barclay Prison. The 17th of June. Was that the professor's execution? Professor. As you were the chief warder at the time, it stands to reason that you would have been present throughout the proceedings. It does sound familiar. And yet, that execution never took place. The convict, ostensibly executed earlier that day, later re-emerged from his grave. The convict came back to life. In the cemetery in the middle of the night, there was a witness. However, the witness claims that a moment after he saw the convict clambering out of his grave, a gunshot rang out from over his shoulder. The bullet pierced the professor's chest, killing him instantly. Excuse me. Those may have been the professor's actual last moments. Yes. Seeing as you were in charge of overseeing executions at the time, you must know the truth about what really happened. It's in your head, somewhere deep down. Well, Chief Warder Daily Vigil, I know there are memories in your head that can explain what happened on 17th June 10 years ago, and now it's time for you to drag them up. Mr. Vigil? Yes, the whole prison. It was in complete chaos. Prisoner escaped. He was killed in the cemetery. Shocking news ripped through Barclay like a hurricane. What? What? I guess he's remembering. Order! 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 Do you mean to say, Mr. Vigil, that your memories of the time have returned? My head, it's like some floodgates have been opened. The images, the screams. Oh, my goodness. The papers. There were reports, articles about a man who had seen a ghost. Yes, Eunuch Drebber. But surely those reports were exaggerated. There were traces at the scene. Traces of what? In Lowgate Cemetery at plot number 139. Blood. Lots of blood. That's where the man was buried, of course. Obviously, something terrible had happened there. The depths of a conspiracy and depravity from which this tale is emerging are quite staggering. Also, Eric, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. How are you doing tonight? I've reviewed the police records from that time extensively. A thorough investigation was conducted by Scotland Yard to ascertain how the convict managed to escape in the first place. And the conclusion reached by the investigating team was that a member of the prison staff must have been involved. Are you suggesting that a prison warder abetted the man's bid for freedom? Yes, and I was suspected of doing it, of using that mass murderer's execution as a way to help him escape. You did what? I remember now. The horror of it all is coming back to me. One evening, a few days after the execution, some detectives came to the prison. I was called to the governor's office at the top of the watchtower. I'm sorry, Daly. This is a serious business, but I can I help you know? As chief warder, you were responsible for overseeing the execution before, eh? Well, it seems the fellas of Scotland Yard want to have a few wee words with you about it. You'd better pack your things, laddie. You're to attend in person. As soon as he told me that, my mind just went completely blank. And the next thing I knew, the professor, the most hated killer in our country's history. I let him escape. Finished my life. It's over. I think we broke the man. Well, he's dead. Well, it's going to be hard to get further testimony out of him. Pretty hard. Order! Order! Bailiff, fetch a doctor at once! Court is adjourned for today with immediate effect. Well, I guess we would have hit a stopping point,
so,
but whatever.
With Mr. Vigil's collapse, proceedings came to an abrupt end for the day.
It always surprises me when you hear the voiceover.
Once again overshadowed by the legacy of that notorious killer, appearing like a cursed ghost ship on a foggy ocean.
I sold Mjolnir. Cool. I got an email saying I sold items on TCG Player, and one of them is... There was an Assassin's Creed set a little ways back, and I opened a Mjolnir, and I guess it sold, so... Cool! I sold Mjolnir! It's gonna take a lot of stamps to ship that one, though.
Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Vigil, Kazuma, and Gregson. All of them bound by invisible chains anchored to the same wreckage in the murky depths of the past. But the miraculous light that had been trying to cut through the gloom and shine on those tragic events was playing on the edges of the truth at last.
More often to buy books and stamps. I'm gonna have to, yeah. I'm already... And honestly, I feel like things have slowed down, but I'm already a third of the way through my first book of turtle stamps. So, yeah, I honestly will have to. But I thought the only post office in town was back on the other side where I used to live. There's one that's closer. It's right by the bus hub, and I could realistically bike there. The only problem is one of the roads is a kind of major road. I do try to avoid major roads when I'm on the bike, just because, you know, why tempt fate? But I think it should be okay. Or I could walk there, but it's like an hour walk. I'd much rather take a 10-minute bike ride than an hour walk. To be continued. Yeah, I didn't know there would be an ending point so close, but who knew? For every time I go, oh damn, there's an ending point really close, there's an equal number of times where it's like, oh damn, there was no ending point in sight. So, you know. Kind of just gotta follow the heart. Investigation part 2. 2nd November, 3:38 p.m., Sholmes' suite. Cool. Still can't quite believe what just happened. I know, I inquired with the bailiff after the court session was adjourned. And it seems Mr. Vigil was taken to hospital to recover. Right. 10 years ago now, Mr. Vigil attempted to commit suicide by jumping out of the window of the prison governor's office. But ever since then, he's completely blocked the memory of those events from his mind. Nobody knew his secret. Not his family, not even the man himself. But I forced it out into the open. I mean, his old boss knew. Presumably those two Scotland Yard people right there knew. That some people knew. Was it wrong of me to do that? Did I overstep the mark, I wonder? Bruno! No, Iris. You were miles away. Anyway, I've brewed a fresh pot of soothing tea for you. Oh, thank you. You and Susie have had an exhausting day so far, haven't you? Oh. Thank you, Iris. How thoughtful of you. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is? When we came out of the courtroom back into the defendant's antechamber, he disappeared. Oh, no, I don't know. He just suddenly sprang to his feet and left. All he said was, I must leave. I wonder if he's pursuing the mystery of Inspector Gregson's death. Well, you know what Hurley is always saying, don't you? There are mysteries in this world that should perhaps never be solved. Is that what he's always saying? I am really curious how this is all going to tie back around to her dad. Because that is a huge dangling plot thread for a long time. I'm really curious how this is going to tie back to that. Because that's the only thing I can't... Not like I can see how this case is playing out. I sure don't. But I can see how it's going to intertwine with the events of 10 years ago. I get how that connection is there. But I don't get the connection to her dad. So we'll see. If the construction of a solution comes only at the expense of the destruction of something else. What does that mean? He knows very well that when you open someone else's old wounds, you often open your own too. But he just can't take his own advice and leave well alone. Solving mysteries is too important to him. That's so true. That's what I like about Hurley after all. I suppose that's the lot of a great detective in some ways. So then, let's have tea. Then I'll give you a hand. Oh, do you have time, Iris? Yes, I finished this month's manuscript at last, with barely a day to spare before the deadline. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. A brand new story to read in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. You know, I always hide Hurley's violin in the days before I have a deadline. You do? Or Mr. Sholmes? I'm sure that's very wise, Iris. How sensible of you. Now then, my dear fellows, let's make a plan of action before we continue our investigation. Alright. So, how did it go in court this morning? Well, we still don't know the truth about what really happened, but one thing's increasingly clear. Lord Van Zieks definitely didn't do it. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty apparent. Oh, goody. Yes, that's right. We managed to uncover several new facts as well. Oh, really? And there was another development too. Kazuma. Yes, it's quite clear now that Kazuma-sama is not himself. The way he's acting, it's almost as if he's possessed. No, I mean, at the end of the proceedings earlier, he was like a bloodhound the way he was chasing down Mr. Vigil's forgotten past. It's not normally so mercilessly persistent. Well, I imagine things don't often involve the person who may or may not have been involved in murdering or allowing his father to escape before being murdered. Well, not murdering his father, but killing. Still, you know, this is a smidge more personal than your average conversation with him. But, why not? What's going on in his head, I wonder? I really need to sit down with Kazuma and try to understand what he's going through. If Gregson was really murdered the day before his body was discovered, then Lord Van Zieks has to be innocent, you say. What? The day before? Well, that should be easy enough to work out. Just by examining the corpse, surely. Yes, you would expect so, but curiously, no time of death was included in the autopsy report. That is curious. There are still unanswered questions about Lord Van Zieks, though, aren't there? Do you mean... I mean, what was he doing there on Fresno Street that day in the first place? Well, according to the man's testimony, he said he was investigating Inspector Gregson, didn't he? And it turns out that little room was actually the inspector's secret office. Excuse me. No, that sounds like it has all the makings of a wonderfully devilish plot. But then, why was that notice board in there covered in all those particular papers? Papers about the cases with a link to the Reaper. I'm starting to get a bad feeling about all this. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Oh dear, that sounds more like something horribly devilish. We must start by looking into Inspector Gregson's movements of late. Alright, Gregson's movements. Never imagined I might have to be investigating an inspector's movements. Well, according to the entry in his diary, he was carrying out an incognito investigation of the Red-Headed League the day before his death. Yeah, that's about what we know too. Oh, you mean he was doing the same as Hurley? Well, Mr. Sholmes was trying to apply, whereas the inspector was supposed to be investigating. Yeah, slightly different. Minutely. Do wish it had been the other way around. Anyway, as it turns out, the inspector who went to investigate the Red-Headed League that day wasn't actually Gregson at all. It was Mr. Vigil in possession of Gregson's identification. Not sketchy whatsoever. Also, 7th, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. How you doing? Hope your weekend's going well for you.
What the fuck?
Oh man, I need to replay the OG Somnium Files. I was originally going to cosplay Dante, and I still might. Who knows? It's up in the air. I ended up replacing the plans for that cosplay with Alan Wake when I fell in love with Alan Wake 2, but it still could happen. Still could happen. Probably not this year. It's a little late for this year, but who knows? What's an extra Gregson? Oh yeah, read that. You know what that sounds like to me? Establishing an alibi. Oh my! Yes, you're absolutely right, Iris. But why would Gregson need an alibi? Fishing trophies of wilds, do crown hunting now. Oh, hell yeah, very nice. Yeah, I think assuming tomorrow's workday isn't too crazy. Like, I have varying work days. I have work days where it's like, nope, gotta focus, got no other time. And I've got days where it's like, yeah, I do a ticket and there's like a half hour of loading time, and then I do a ticket and there's a half hour loading time. So if it's one of those days, I was going to get some fishing done tomorrow, but we'll also see. It might not be. it's hard to predict what type of day it'll be beforehand. It would appear that the inspector had something to do that he wished to keep secret. I don't believe it. I always thought he was just a harmless lover of fish and chips. He could be that too. But also, congrats. Crown hunting, I mean, it's definitely easier than it used to be. And I know that as I go around, I'll make sure to save crowns. You'll probably get to the crowns before I do, but if I end up having one saved that's one you need, I'll make sure to let you know. Or perhaps they were seasoned with something a little more potent than salt and vinegar. Got your lure, maybe. Oh, nice. Fishing, maybe I should just stare longingly at the fishing spots. Yeah. I mean, fishing good, always good. So, that's the rules. That's the truth of fishing. The truth of the world is fishing good. I think perhaps we should try to move away from food analogies. Well, anyway, if Lord Van Zieks felt the need to investigate Gregson... Yes, I agree. We must try to find out what he knows. Vigil, you say? Isn't that the name of the lady who came to visit Hurley yesterday? That's right. To ask Mr. Sholmes if he would help to find her missing husband. Only Mr. Sholmes completely passed the buck on to us. Actually, didn't you say that Mr. Vigil had been taken to the hospital? Do you know which one? Guess we're into the game. Alchemy binge is finally over after like 3 days. Damn. Now to one-shot everything for the next 10 hours until you hit another threshold where you can go stronger. I mean harder, better, faster, stronger, explosive. Do you know which one? Ah, it's St. Sinners. I'm starting to wonder if all the other hospitals in London have closed down. That's amazing, Bruno. You found the lady's husband already. Well, I suppose I have. By accident. Hey, take the W. And 10 years ago, while Mr. Vigil was the chief warder at the prison, he was responsible for overseeing the professor's incarceration. No. So when the convict escaped, he was held responsible and immediately dismissed. Yeah, sometimes I really don't want to grow up. There's more. For 10 years after that, while he was ostensibly working as a peddler, he also had another secret job. He was paid by Gregson to be his stand-in, to impersonate the inspector. To impersonate Gregson? But why? Absolutely no idea. Ah, Ginny was right. I'm starting to think all adults are up to no good now. Maybe not all, but, you know. Including you, Bruno. I haven't paid anyone to impersonate me. That means he has ties to the professor and to Inspector Gregson now. So I do think we ought to pay a visit to Mr. Vigil, don't you? Back to St. Sinners, then. Well, I think it's clear what we need to do, isn't it? Let us investigate, my dear fellows. Oh, Iris, you're even more enthusiastic than usual today. If anyone has anything to hide, my special Wilson's shooting iron will soon set them straight. That water pistol? It's stuffed full of piping hot extra special blend of mine. Oh, I'm quite sure it will be very effective. I'd better be careful not to hide anything. Well, it feels a little strange that Mr. Sholmes is nowhere to be seen, but still. Let's go and see what we can find out. Yes. Alright. To the elsewhere. Prison, Fresno Street Room. Over here. Excuse me. 2nd November, St. Sinners Hospital, Ward 3. Well. Nope. I swear I hit that button. Alright, well, he doesn't appear to be in here. Ah, look, a pair of crutches. Before we came to Britain, I hadn't realized they were used here as well. I mentioned they were imported into Japan from Great Britain in the first place. Oh, so no one in all of Japan broke a leg before their arrival? Anyway, the sight of these things doesn't bring back good memories for me. Oh dear, did you injure yourself once and need to use them? When I was little, I thought they looked fun, so I borrowed a pair to play with. And then I slipped and sprained my ankle. Let's see. They contain powerful magic, those wooden staffs. The power to heal and the power to harm. I think a certain cheeky little boy managed to cause the harm all by himself. I meant to look at this, but that's good too. Ah, patient treatment notes. What do these say, I wonder? Endlessly obliging. Suppose that's referring to the patient in this bed. I would think so. And until Mr. Vigil is a little more stable, it's probably just as well that he has a kindly person in the neighboring bed. The endlessly part is a little worrying, though, isn't it? I mean, what if Mr. Vigil suddenly declared that he'd like to take a trip out of the window? Would this endlessly obliging person, a patient, simply open it for him and say, "Be my guest"? Let's check with the doctor later. I appreciate that she doesn't go, "No, that's stupid." She's like, "Yeah, what if? We should ask." These must be the patient's treatment notes. Let's see. Tendency to jump from windows. Remember to place cushions at base of wall outside. Not place in a room with no windows. Not make sure windows are locked. Not restrain to bed. Nah. Make sure you put some soft landing outside the window. Good. Good. Art, a story up front, a story up from the ground here? Oh dear. Poor Mr. Vigil. I can't help feeling that there's a better solution to the problem than a cushion, though. Finding something you'd lost isn't always a happy experience, it turns out. Considering the truth can be a very dark business sometimes, can't it? Yes, I'm afraid it can. Okay, so we know that's his bed, but also he's not here. So I'm gonna look elsewhere for now. Second November, room on Fresno Street. I saw the picture before, but photograph of Miss Vigil. Realizing the identity of this lady was a very great clue to exposing Mr. Gossip's true identity. He obviously loves his wife very dearly, which is why he felt he couldn't tell her the truth. The transformation was incredible, wasn't it? Just from that big twisted lip. Yes, he went to extraordinary efforts to play the part of Hugh Boone convincingly. Although, it didn't really seem like it was much of an effort to me. Now you say it, I have to agree. It's almost as if that was Mr. Vigil's true character. People really are very hard to fathom at times. Using a candle as a timer device. Very ingenious, I must say. Yes, the culprit arranged it so that the firecracker would be set off at 5 o'clock and then left. So that a loud bang was heard at precisely the moment Lord Van Zieks arrived, yes. Only he hadn't picked up that gun from the floor. Something you probably told yourself once upon a time, I imagine. Yes, I've learnt that lesson by a bitter experience. I would have turned and run a mile for sure. It may not have done you any favors either. I don't think we're finding anything new here. Catches your eye as soon as you enter the room, doesn't it? Such a bright color. It certainly makes an impression. Yes. They can't possibly commit any crimes, can they? I mean, redheads stand out like a sore thumb. I'm afraid with our jet black Japanese hair, we stand out almost as much here in London. I suppose that's true. You mustn't think of committing any crimes, Mr. Naruhodo. I wasn't! He would never think about committing crimes. It turns out that Gregson didn't actually die in here at all. Where on earth could he have been killed? One way or another, we must find out. For the inspector's sake. You know, you look awfully pale again today, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry. When I start thinking it all through, I conjure up some horrible images in my mind. Your imagination is the culprit here, then. Most certainly guilty. Clearly. Never ever imagined that this little figurine would turn out to be a watch-winding key. Suppose it's a policeman because the pocket watch was a gift from Scotland Yard. It seems there was much more to Inspector Gregson than we ever realized. He was clearly a brilliant man. It's the fish and chips that threw us off. I feel as though it ruins his image. I really don't think we should blame one of Britain's staple cuisines. But think about it. Imagine if it was Mr. Sholmes. How would you feel if instead of that old briar pipe that's always in his hand, Mr. Sholmes had a bag of chips? Rather disappointed, if I'm honest. Exactly! Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're finding nothing here, but alright. This revolver, just who does it belong to? Well, we know it's of the type issued to members of the police force and judiciary, but Gregson's own gun was found on this person. And of course, Lord Van Zieks has admitted to losing the firearm with which he was issued. Such absent-mindedness, not dissimilar to you, Mr. Naruhodo. Starting to think the cold, hard prosecutor and I could become friends after all. Then I wish you every success. Yeah, that's all we have in here. I guess the board, one more. There are details of cases stretching back over 10 years on this notice board. Yes, a history of Lord Van Zieks' defeats in court. I don't think that's an appropriate description. Although, when you consider everything on the board, it's certainly true that all these people had a background of dubious dealings. And in the end, of course, the board itself concealed the inspector's own death. Oh my, it really doesn't bear thinking about. Alright, well, I guess we got nothing in here. Maybe I should have given this a better look over. Oh, lawyers being issued guns? Yeah, no thank you. No thank you at all. This notice caught my eye before, actually. Suppose it's some sort of slogan for the ward? A cheerful welcome message, perhaps. Let's say, hey with good cheer, leave with good cheer. Oh, look at that. You're spot on, Mr. Sato. It's full of cheer. I wonder how many discharged patients pay their medical bills with good cheer, though. Phew. Once I had to have a very painful injection when I fell ill with a cold. I felt awful already, so why did I have to suffer the sting of the injection as well as the bill? I yelled at the doctor. Oh dear, what terrible treatment. Really nothing about the window next to the bed of the guy who dumps out windows? Alright, sure, 1 second. I really should just put the controller on the desk when I go to blow my nose, but no. Leave it on my lap. Always precariously placed, always gonna fall. It's, you know, it's how we live around here. We live dangerously. There are all sorts of medicines in this cabinet. Look, I'm not sure if it's safe leaving them in reach of everyone like this. Yes, you're right. Imagine if you were peckish, you might try some of the pills. Well, at least there seems to be a little lock to secure the cabinet doors. I don't imagine that would stop you if you were hungry. I worry that you'd break the lock. Hunger doesn't turn me into a criminal, you know, Mr. Sato. I mean, you know, hunger does things. Well, I guess we actually had a fairly good look here. There are lots of bottles in that cabinet there, aren't there? Do you think it's safe to keep them there? Hee. If you were a patient here, I feel sure you'd take some medicine by mistake when you were half asleep. That is a worry, but at least the cabinet has a lock, even if it's only a flimsy-looking one. Oh, I have no doubt you'd manage to unlock that somehow while you were half asleep as well. Jeez, okay. There are limits to even to what I can do when I'm half asleep, you know, Mrs. Sato. So I guess he's a troublemaker when he's half asleep, and he's a troublemaker when he's hungry. But also, I guess there wasn't anything here. Second November, local prison, cell 1. Lord Van Zieks is reading a book. Look. He doesn't seem like he wants visitors, does he? But he must have noticed that we're here, surely. What do you Nipponese want? Knock it out of Lord Hope when he was asleep, though. That's true. So clearly there are limits. That's no way to greet the lawyer who's trying his hardest to prove your innocence, is it? Perhaps not. I apologize. So, what can I do for you, Mr. Naruhodo? Lord Van Zieks, speaking earnestly. Oh, the fog will lift over London for the first time in months tomorrow. This does feel very, very strange. I must say, I was impressed. Oh, well, thank you. The shade, yeah. The shade and the random cat meowing in his theme. Always. Not by you, by your fellow Nipponese, your prosecutor friend. Oh, I see, yes. It's sardonic, don't you think? For a man such as me, so loathing of the Nipponese, to be entirely at the mercy of the two of you. I suppose it's retribution for having played the part of the Reaper all these years. Played the part? Oh, time to chat. He is, yeah, it's true. I mean, it is factual. You once told me that you gladly allowed people to believe you were the Reaper, because it helped reduce the amount of serious crimes that took place in London. If keeping quiet and playing the part benefits the cause, a cause I myself am committed to pursuing, then why would I choose to say anything? But the henchman of a criminal killed by the Reaper attacked you only the other day, and that was just the most recent of many attempts on your life, wasn't it? Someone is clearly profiting from your silence about all this. Someone is using you. Believe me, ever since the Reaper first appeared, I've been doing my utmost to expose him, or rather, expose the organization. Ah! It's a whole organization! The organization? CERN? The glare, the racism, banging out stuff with his feet randomly. Yeah, Yeah, Dracula got the bat form, he got the cat form. It just makes sense. It's inconceivable that all these accidents were orchestrated by one man. I don't think he's Mario. He doesn't strike me as Italian enough. No, the Reaper always appears to have very accurate information about the accused in each case, which can only mean that somebody at Scotland Yard is involved. Someone at... You can't mean... It's taken me many years, but I finally identified the central figure in this Reaper organization. Tobias Gregson. No! No! Fish and Chips was the Reaper? Gregson, the Reaper? I mean... So, the reason you were investigating Inspector Gregson is because you intended to expose him as the Reaper. As I said, the Reaper of the Bailey is no single person. It's a highly secret organization which closes with close ties to Scotland Yard. But there's no doubt that Gregson was a key member of that organization. I don't believe it. Are you saying that Gregsy, that he was behind all those awful criminals meeting there? Gregson didn't do the dirty work himself. Oh. He was the tactician. His job was to covertly investigate the Marks and plot their assassinations. In order to do that without arousing suspicion, he regularly needed a firm alibi. This is where Mr. Vigil came in, posing as the inspector. Vigil knows nothing of the Reaper, but the room he rents in Fresno Street was almost certainly the headquarters of the operation. Gregson would have met the assassin there for briefings. So we don't know who actually carried out the killings, then. Actually, I do have a name. What? Well, if you can name the man, you have the true identity of the Reaper already then. Well, I mean, unless it's a moniker, you know. Or if I can name the woman. Oh. She's a young woman by the name of Asa. God damn it. Of course. There could be no other name. That's the only name that you could possibly ever name an assassin in the Phoenix Wright universe. Okay. Okay. She's a young woman by the name of Asa Shin. Wait, what? Shin? Miss Asa Shin, the true name of a terrifying killer I know only too well. Well, now we know how it loops back around to her dad. Cool. Yup. Now we've got it. Totally forgot that was her name. Totally forgot. She came to Japan posing as a visiting student and murdered Dr. John H. Wilson. Miss Shut Up herself, yeah, huh? Was assassin in Japanese, so there's tracks. Then, just when it seemed that diplomatic protection would help her escape Japan, and conviction would have been great if it was the one. The mysterious woman was herself murdered in a small summer beach hut. And that woman was actually the Reaper of the Bailey. Mr. Naruhodo, this perhaps isn't the place to discuss. No, of course not. You can't mention it here. The fact that she killed Dr. John H. Wilson is Iris doesn't know, and it's very likely that the man was her father. Asa Shin, I should let father know at once. Yes, I agree. And by at once you mean after, we ask another thing. Kazuma isn't it. Kazuma Sogi. You say he's a friend of yours. My best friend. He's the whole reason I got to come to Britain. It was all on his merits. I have nothing but respect for him. Yes, I understand that only the very best students are selected for such opportunities. And I had a fine demonstration of how sharp he is in the proceedings earlier today. He missed nothing. In fact, his flawless performance very much reminded me of his father. Genshin... I want to say Genshin Impact every time, but Genshin Isogi, the professor. Excuse me. It's true that the aristocracy at the time was the root of numerous grave societal problems. They were abusing their power, playing with the common man as pawns in politics, in economics, in war. In many ways, Asogi was carving out a canker from society that we British couldn't deal with ourselves. Ah, I see. But that's precisely why it makes no sense. Clint Van Zieks was a noble and upstanding man. He wasn't corrupt. Why did that damned Nipponese have to go and take my brother's life? In spite of having once saved mine. He saved your life? How did that happen? Okay. It was 10 years ago on a foggy night. What was to be the professor's final strike had sent a wave of panic through the capital. So Clint Van Zieks had already been killed at this point then. Genshin and I were walking down some back streets at a late hour. Of course, at that point, I had no idea of the true nature of the man at my side. All of a sudden... Don't make a peep! You're coming with us! We were surrounded. All of our assailants were armed with pistols, their faces obscured by scarves. Clint was not only from noble heritage, he was a brilliant prosecutor as well. The scum of London hated the sight of him, and they had no sympathy for his younger brother either. I'd been targeted several times before already. Yeah, it's Van Zieks, all right. We got him. I could hear them murmuring amongst themselves. I knew they were after me. Just when I thought my time had come. If I let them kill you, Clint would never forgive me. Excuse me. It was Asogi's voice, just a whisper in my ear. After that, I don't remember exactly what happened. The next thing I knew, there was silence all around. The engine lay in the cobbled street, and blood was seeping from his left hand. He'd shielded me. Two days later, they arrested him, on suspicion of being London's most notorious mass murderer ever, the Professor. How awful for you. All at once, I lost the brother I revered and the foreign friend I held in such high regard. So sorry, Lord Van Zieks. That's the end of my miserable tale. I never thought I'd recount it to anyone. Well, thank you for confiding in me. The Professor, the Reaper, and Inspector Gregson. I wonder just how intimately related they all are. Oh my. Still can't quite believe that Gregson was essentially the Reaper, giving assassination orders to Josiah Brett. Mr. Naruto, let's go and inform my father. I'm sure our government will want to hear about this new information. Oh, that means I get to meet your daddy, Susie. Hooray! Yes, alright. Let's head back to the Great Waterloo Hotel then. Alright. They chose the JP pronunciation because it's easier for English to say, I guess. Yeah, makes sense. The location's been edited. To the hotel. November, Great Waterloo Hotel Foyer. Thought it yesterday, and I think it again today. This place is so princely. It's a wild guess, but I have a feeling you'll think the same tomorrow, too. My tea has a finer fragrance than whatever they're serving in the tea room here, though, wouldn't you say? Ah, look who we have here. This is an unexpected pleasure. Ah, Father! Oh, is this your daddy, Susie? How lovely. What a charming young lady. And you are? Ah, really? So you're the author of The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, are you? It's me, Iris Wilson, at your service, sir. Susie's been such a wonderful friend to me over the last year, you know? Well, Miss Wilson, I must say I read your work regularly and with much interest. Iris actually lives with Mr. Sholmes, you know, Father. Is that so? Well, perhaps that goes some way to explaining what that bright look in your eyes. Hee hee. You wouldn't be smiling so airily if you knew just how bright she is, believe me. Now then, young Naruhodo, it was a pleasure seeing you in action earlier. As an invitee of the symposium, I was allowed to observe from the gallery, after I twisted some arms, and I must say, it was truly a truly exemplary performance. Oh, well, thank you very much. Although I'm fairly sure you omitted by Cosma at the end there. No, please don't misunderstand. It was you who impressed me. Everyone can just read his mind. You can't be a Ace Attorney protagonist without people being able to just read your thoughts. Really? He didn't miss a step against Asogi, and we all know how capable he is. Really, to have matured into such a fine defense lawyer in less than a year is quite extraordinary. It's very kind of you to say so. Really nice to hear. What I saw in court today confirmed what I'd been hoping for. The favor I mentioned yesterday, Naruhodo. I trust you haven't forgotten. Oh, no, you did mention something, didn't you? I would call it reading their blue text. Yeah, no, they can absolutely read the blue text, yeah. 100%. It's definitely that all, like, Phoenix and Naruhodo just wear their emotions on their sleeves. Like, it's clearly just obvious to everyone around them what they're thinking. But, yeah. But first, we have something to report, Father. Of course, of course. Shall we take tea while we discuss matters further? I wonder where Judge Shigoku has got to. No, I don't want to leave. Father, do you know about the so-called Reaper of the Bailey? I've heard rumors. Some members of the judiciary explained it all to me yesterday. Just manifest a thought bubble in the air. I mean, you know. Blue text Reaper Maizana. True. Yeah. I mean, that's just how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you can just read the blue text. It's you know, totally normal. Totally normal. Nothing strange whatsoever about it. At all. Yep. I mean, I feel like it leans into the protagonist being like a really like earnest, doesn't hide their feelings type of character, when all the people around them can just be like, yeah, I already know what you're thinking. Work cities can be anime. It's more Nichijou. Not more Nichijou, but alright, nifty. Not bad, not bad. A shame it's not more Nichijou, but you do what you can do. Of course, when I was a visiting student here in London, the Reaper was yet to emerge. Right, he didn't appear until after that case, when the visiting students had already returned. Lord Van Zieks, who was in the dock today, that was Barrick, the younger brother of Clint Van Zieks, I believe. That's right, and he's known throughout London as the Reaper, as you've heard. But the truth is, it wasn't him behind all those mysterious deaths. It was somebody else. I see. So what you're saying is, there's been a professional killer at work here. Exactly, like some sort of assassin. Somebody by the name of Assassin, in fact. I beg your pardon? Did you say assassin? You mean that Josiah Brett woman who was responsible for killing my great friend? Oh no. Don't. Oh no, a friend of yours was killed. Professor Mikotoba, I think perhaps we shouldn't discuss this right now. Because the friend the professor is talking about is Dr. John H. Wilson. It's not something we want Iris to find out about. Not like this, anyway. I mean, it's been a year, and when she finds out that we all knew, like, this entire time, she's not going to be happy. Like, there's no good way to find that out. At this rate, it almost feels mean not telling her. Because, like, it's only going to hurt more when she finds out that not only did she not know for a year, but that we knew the whole time. I get the concept behind it, but, like, you know, it's not going to go great. I just remembered something. Biscuits! This hotel has the most delicious looking biscuits. That was rather out of the blue. She's doing this deliberately. I think I'll go and see if I can purchase some. I wonder, would you like to come too, Iris? Oh, yes. You just try to leave me behind. So that young girl is called Iris Wilson, is she? Yes, that's right. And she's the author of all those adventure stories starring the great Detective Sholmes. But the name of the credited author isn't Iris, is it? It's Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, I know. That's the name of her father, you see. Her father? Dr. John H. Wilson. I was deeply indebted to the man for all the kindness he showed me during my time in London. That's why I was keen to reciprocate and invite him to the Imperial Umayyad University 4 years ago. But he was murdered last year by Josiah Brett. Why? Why would the hand of the Reaper stretch all the way to Japan? Iris knows nothing about that case, but it seems very likely that the victim, Dr. Wilson, was her father. Well, I can't say that we ever spoke about his family, so I don't know if he had a daughter or not. But I think I can say with some certainty that he was never the great detective's partner. So it could have been another Dr. Wilson, you think? Another Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, John and Wilson are both common names, after all. Still, it's probably best not to mention this to the young lady until we can be sure. See, now we at least have a reason to be like, we're not sure, I guess. It's still not great. They should definitely tell her. That's what we thought, yes. We're back with Cinnamon Biscuits. Do you know how you could be sure? You could ask her about her father. Be like, oh, I knew your father, or I knew a man with a similar name, and he looked like this, and he acted like this, and his personality was like this. Or you could really just tell her the truth and be like, someone with the same name as your father was definitely murdered in Japan, but we're not positive it's your father. Can you tell us about him so we can... No, it's fine. No, it's whatever. Excuse me. We're back with Cinnamon Biscuits. Oh, they smell delicious, Iris. I think cinnamon will go very well with the tea they serve here. Don't you, Susie? Yes, I'm sure you're right, Iris. I haven't seen Judge Jikoku for a while, have you? But that guilty is still ringing in my ears. No, now that you mention it, I haven't seen him since this morning either. I suppose since the symposium's opening was postponed, he'll have gone to explore the great exhibition. That reminds me of something you mentioned yesterday. About Judge Jikoku having once been in the dock himself. Ah yes, it was all tied up with that accursed trial. A closed trial of Kazuma's father. Seishiro was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took to the stand to testify. But he got a little carried away and, actually managed to break the witness's stand. Oh my! He also said some contemptuous words about the British Empire, for which he was charged. Oh dear. Although it's worryingly easy to imagine him doing that. Well, it was all alright in the end. He was acquitted and we returned home to Japan together. Thank goodness. Ah yes, talking of Seishiro. I have a copy of the photograph we all took together here yesterday. Please. Oh, what a lovely picture. It certainly seems to shout, "We've arrived in Britain." Remember, a photograph has been entered into the court record. Why would we need this for the court record? Photograph taken in the foyer of the Great Waterloo Hotel in the morning of Professor Mikotoba and showed Shikoku's arrival in London for the symposium. None of us had any idea what was coming when we took that, did we? No, that's so true. Why is that evidence? Got nothing. So, you mentioned a favor that you'd like to ask me. Well, this fateful trial that you're fighting, one way or another, it will be over before long. And when it is, I'd like you to accompany me back to Japan. You want me to do... What? Father, what is the meaning of this? Now, Susato, you should understand. We've seen how our courts work firsthand. Japan's judicial system is in its infancy, especially when it comes to defense. Oh, you mean the Supreme Court of Judiciary is in desperate need of a good defense lawyer. As soon as possible. Really quite urgently, in fact. But I've not even been in London a year yet. I've read all of Susato's reports. I'm well aware of your extraordinary talents. Pearls travel back in time. And having seen you in action with my own eyes earlier today, there's no question. You, Naruhodo, are precisely the man our country needs. So, you'll be leaving then, Runo. But then, what am I supposed to do, Father? You came here to serve as Asogi's judicial assistant. Oh yes, she's supposed to be Kazuma's assistant. Our government is still in the process of deciding how best to deal with his situation, though. You've always chosen your own path, Susanoo, and I trust your judgment in this matter also. Please, the pair of you, don't look so downcast. It's merely a suggestion, you understand. A hope, if I'm honest. But I won't force you. All I ask is that you consider it, and come to a decision by the time this trial concludes. Yes, alright. You won't leave, will you, Runo? No pressure. From either side. The thought hadn't even crossed my mind. Up until now, I've just been trying to do what I believed to be Kazuma's will. But it turns out that he's still alive, so where does that leave me? Well, if you'll excuse me now, I need to telegram government ministers and the Japanese police with this information about Asashin. Of course, Father. Thank you. Look forward to next month's installment, Miss Wilson. Oh, good. And please, do come to Baker Street sometimes, won't you? We'd love to entertain you. I would be delighted. The best of luck for tomorrow, Naruhodo. And give my suggestion your full consideration, won't you? It's not like you have anything else occupying your mental space right now. Yes, I will. Going back home. You know, Kazuma-sama has always meant a great deal to my father. Sure he'd love the chance to meet with him and talk to him about all of this. Yes, no doubt. Asashin. Of course, it's so obvious. How could I have neglected to consider the possibility before now? Mr. Sholmes! Hurley, where have you been? Why, I joined you all for tea, of course. What an extraordinary question. I didn't notice you at all. No matter, no matter. Anyway, to more pressing concerns. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes? I must dispatch a telegram to your country at once. It is a matter of much urgency. To Japan, you mean? Tell me, to whom can I entrust the task? Quickly now, who? Ah, well... My father has just now left to send a telegram to the Imperial Police Bureau of Japan himself. I see. Well, he looked reliable enough for a bearded fellow. I don't think what father sports could be considered a beard, Mr. Sholmes. There's not a moment to lose. Kindly ask your trusty unshaven father to see this set. I will, but what is it? No questions at this time, if you please, Miss Susanoo. All we can do is pray that for once, my deduction is awry. Doesn't that imply that your deductions are normally correct, Mr. Sholmes? Which isn't exactly... Not... Now then! You may be surprised to learn that I am a very busy man. I certainly have no time to hide behind sets and eavesdrop on other people's conversations. So that's what joining us for tea meant. I leave the sending of this in your hands, then, my dear fellows. And he's gone. Now, wait a minute, Mr. Sholmes. He just sort of ran off, didn't he? At quite a pace. And left the unpaid bill for his tea behind, too. Yeah, all of that sounds like Sholmes. I must catch up with father at the telegraph office at once. And I'll run and call us a cab. Right away. And there was me thinking everyone would be clamoring to pay Mr. Sholmes' bill. Clearly never going to happen. Well, let's see. Ah, got a check mark. Cowards. Right, so this isn't where we need. Oh, whoops. Got everything here. I don't even think he'll be here. But, eh. Well, oh, that was wrong. 2nd November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. No arguments, Professor Asogi. You will continue with the trial exactly as I instructed. Is that clear? Perfectly. It's Kazuma-sama. Defying Lord Strongheart by the side of it. He never did know when to back down. On your way now, Asogi. My lord. Hey, buddy. How's it going? Kazuma. Cool. Good chatting with you. Bye. He left without saying a word. Yes, what are you doing here? Oh, well, I was just hoping to ask you a few questions if you wouldn't mind. I wanted Ben Zeeks' trial to conclude today. The prosecutor Sogi's unwelcome inquiries are going to make it take longer than necessary. Unwelcome inquiries? As a result, I'm losing even more precious time. It's terrible, terrible play on the world that you've lost a bit of time. Currently 2 hours, 55 minutes and 41 seconds, 42, 43. We must resolve everything before 3 hours have passed. Mr. Naruhodo. In America, it's not even 5 minutes? Anyway, I can't let the man's obvious bad mood put me off. I need information. Oh, well, let's try to get some information out of him then. The Reaper. Does Prosecutor Asogi believe that Lord Van Zeeks is the Reaper? I wouldn't know. It was 10 years ago, in that fateful closed trial, that Lord Ben Zeeks made a name for himself among the judiciary. But the next trial he fought, he lost. It meant the ringleader of a criminal organization was acquitted, thanks to all the jurors being under duress. I'm sure that definitely never once happens in all of London history, let alone in this game. But that's awful! The man's freedom was short-lived. He lasted just 3 days. Yeah, fairly short-lived. Yes, let me see. He died in a rock slide at his place of work, I believe. There. Get my drink. Right. That was the inauguration of the Reaper of the Bailey. People believed Lord Van Zeeks was responsible. He was brought to trial himself, but it was shown to have been an accident. They must have had a solid alibi then. Nevertheless, the mysterious deaths continued. In total, 16 persons perished in unusual circumstances, ostensibly at the hand of the Reaper. It's a long run of coincidences. Yeah, it is. Well, the Reaper's true identity may well be revealed by this trial. Let's see what we can. Why is my water bottle leaking? Second. The impact that revelation would have on the British public cannot be understated. I mean, isn't it good to know who's murdering people, even if they are criminals? Isn't that generally a good thing to know and understand? It's just a big ass thing. Well, it is what it is. It's shaking now. Sorry, 1 second. Make sure that sometimes the it's a good water bottle, but every now and again the gasket slips. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I'll fix that later. Not a thing that needs fixing on stream. It shouldn't leak when I'm drinking out of it, so. Is that why it's a closed trial? Precisely. Sure, I guess. This country hasn't seen a closed trial for 10 years, so the last one was the professors, the trial of Genshin Isogi. Correct. Actually, we heard that originally you were going to prosecute that trial yourself, Lord Stormheart. Ben Zeeks entreated me to relinquish the prosecution to him, that he might avenge his brother's death. And here we are, 10 years later. With the son of the man Ben Zeeks had condemned, now looking to avenge his father's death in the same way. They do say that what goes around comes around. However, it would seem that the new young prosecutor is harboring some ulterior motives as well. Kazuma is. I like my organization to run smoothly, in the exact manner that I prescribed. Excuse me. As with the giant clock in here, I won't tolerate a single cog being out of step with the others. Ah, so that's what all these gears are about here. If the young man refuses to mesh with the other parts of my great machine, I will be forced to take steps. What? What do you mean? Not something with which you need to concern yourself. You could just say he'd be fired, he'd be looking for a job. There's so many ways that could go down that weren't shady sounding. In any case, all your questions will be answered tomorrow. That's not foreboding either. Now, I shall have to ask you to excuse me. As of this moment, I've been delayed from attending my next meeting by precisely 3 hours. Oh my, that's a long time. And I hold you entirely responsible. What? Even though we miraculously managed to fit everything into not even 5 minutes? Entirely responsible. I wonder if you might agree to us, talking with Prosecutor Isogi. Discussions between the defense and the prosecution outside of the courtroom are generally frowned upon. However, I will make an exception in this case. Go and find him at his office. Oh, thank you. That was nice, at least. Oh, almost certainly just want to get rid of us, but we take those. Cool. All right.
Fishing!
No, it's still leaking a bit. Damn. Alright, well, gonna have to look into that after stream. Definitely leaked on me. It's just water with a little bit of tea additive, so it's not like it's gonna be sticky or stain or anything, but definitely didn't expect wet clothes today. Yeah, it would be really funny if he actually was kind of an upstanding guy that's just like trying to do his job. He just gives off those vibes, which aren't terrible vibes to have as like the head justice guy. If people are generally afraid of you, that's not terrible in terms of just like trying to get less crime out there. But boy, oh, also congrats on the fish, by the way. But boy, is he very much, hold on, maybe if I just put the cap on tighter, this, why is this leaking so bad? Well, whatever. Still gonna drink. Even if I end up wearing a third of it, as long as I get the other 2/3. Let's go to see him at once, Mr. Naruhodo. Kazuma's my best friend in the world, but... Same character? Do they? I'm really not at all sure how I know how to talk to him at the moment. Like, I've technically played Genshin Impact, but like, the first hour of the story, maybe less. So like, I got to the first town and the rest of it was just faffing about and exploring, so I really didn't do a ton of the story. Well, so I guess we are going to Prosecutor's office. So remember, Prosecutor's office. So, this is the office of Prosecutor Asogi now, is it? Hey, bro. You here? Kazuma-sama is doing so well for himself. Even though he's always forced to kneel on the floor Japanese style in that dark corner, it's his habit of sitting Seiza style whenever he's working. Okay. I guess whatever you do to stay focused at work. Nouvelette is his name? Interesting. Alright, did not know that. Ooh. Should actually probably have read that, huh? Kazuma, I thought it wouldn't be long before you paid me a visit, Mianosuke. I was right about what I said, wasn't I? Sorry? That you have all the makings of a great defense lawyer. There's very much similarities just from stance alone, yeah, for sure. Add the cane onto it too. Yeah. Well, I always believed that you'd fulfill your dream of advocating in the British courts. Just never imagined for 1 second that it would be as a prosecutor. Seeing you stand in a foreign courtroom, so gallantly realizing your dream, Kazuma-sama, I'm truly happy for you. And I'm truly thankful to you, Judicial Assistant Mikotoba. Mianosuke, I always thought it would be fun for you and I to shake up the British legal system a little together. This isn't quite how I envisioned it, but suppose it's just another twist of fate. As well as the head. Oh, okay. So it's more than just visual too. I mean, yeah, that look of a character looks like they're in charge for sure. Learned a lot of things during my time in London. About how Susato-san's father was himself a visiting student here once, along with Judge Jikoku. And about what happened with your father. And you'll have no difficulty understanding why I had no choice, why I had to find a way to get to Britain as a visiting student myself. I do really like the entire display cabinet of cups, because clearly he goes through so many of them in court. It shows that he actually does have a collection here. He found one person that makes that exact goblet, glass, whatever, and just ordered like a case's worth. And wine bottles, yep. The things he goes through the most. Like, wine I feel like it's easy enough to get, but like a fancy goblet like that, I feel like you gotta order that a little ahead of time. You gotta be ready to have a collection of those. Wine, you can probably go to not any store, but yeah. Still good. Still very good. I want to hear it from you, Kazuma. As you wish, Mianosuke Naruhodo. Alright. Your disappearance. It's getting on for a year now, since what happened on the SS Bureau. Oh, yeah, of course I go inside a box. You're heading across the ocean from Japan to Great Britain. When a bizarre series of coincidences led to those tragic events, I thought I'd lost my best friend forever. must have been unconscious for a long time. When I awoke, I was lying on a bed. It was a narrow little room. There was a posy of flowers by the pillow. It took me a little while to realize that I was in the cabin of a ship. I slipped out of the room and headed up into the deck. Were you already suffering from amnesia at that point? Yes, I didn't know what had happened or where I was. There was just this voice in my head. You have something you have to do, something no one else can know about. Excuse me. Get to Great Britain. Your task awaits you there. It was a calling I couldn't ignore. It compelled me relentlessly. When on the deck, I saw that I was on a huge steamship, and we were docked in a large port. It must have been Hong Kong! Yes, it must have been, presumably just before they were due to carry your body off the ship. I had no idea of the situation, but I did have the feeling that this was in some way my last chance. So I concealed myself among the disembarking passengers and went ashore. Then I disappeared into the crowded streets of that foreign port city, so I could plan my onward journey to Great Britain. Just under a year ago, with all my past memories lost to me, I was left behind in Hong Kong. Everything was foreign to me. The sights, the sounds, the smells, my head reeled. I was truly at a loss. I realized now that I'd escaped as a dead man, with nothing but the clothes on my back. No money, of course. Oh, how terrifying for you. Luckily, though, I had 2 feathers in my cap. One being your knowledge of English, I suppose. That's right. And on the back of that, I was able to pick up some work as a deckhand on a cargo ship. Eventually, after calling at countless ports, I finally arrived at Dover. Must have been some 3 months ago now. Your formidable tenacity of purpose showing itself again. I mean, the man had lost his memory and had literally nothing to his name, but he still managed to make his way to London on the opposite side of the world. Of course, I had no idea why I had moved heaven and earth to get here at that point. So, how did I end up becoming Lord Van Zeek's apprentice then? That can only be called an extraordinary stroke of luck, really. You see, I was stopped at the border because I had no papers. They took me straight to Scotland Yard, and by sheer coincidence, Lord Strongheart was there to attend a meeting. That's when the second feather in my cap came into play. Would that have been your knowledge of the law? Yes, exactly. Lord Strongheart was curious about an Easterner with intimate knowledge of British law. He took me back with him to the Supreme Court and assigned me to the prosecutor's office. And then, 9 days ago, you finally got your memory back, after the trial involving Trevor. Yes, I did. Ever since I first met you at Yume, you talked about your dream. Mark my words, Ryunosuke. I'll be chosen as a visiting student and make my way to Great Britain someday. Did you know the entire time about what happened to your father here? 16 years ago. When my father left on that exciting trip to Great Britain, I was just a boy. We took a photograph together the day before his departure. It's my last memory of him. But what I remember most about my father is his unswerving sense of justice. 6 years after he left, a gentleman called at our family home. He told me that Genshin, my father, had been taken ill in England and passed away. Wow, straight lied. It was Professor Mikotoba, your father, Susano-san. Oh my. Ever since then, the professor was very good to me. He even helped fund my university education at Yume. I'll be forever in his debt. But nevertheless, I just couldn't bring myself to believe what he told me. Oh. Then one day, a letter arrived at our house from Britain. There was no indication of the sender, so I opened it assuming it was from an old acquaintance of my father. What I read in that letter changed my entire life. What did it say? It said that my father had been a mass murderer, and the writer cursed the Asogi name. Oh no. As a result of that letter, I found out what had been hidden from me all those years. But if that whole thing was a closed trial, there is a very finite number of people who could have sent that to him. Presumably the letter was sent from a relative of one of the victims. If whoever it was had been a member of the judiciary, he could have been present at the closed trial. The letter revealed that my father had been sentenced to death, executed for being a killer. I'm so sorry you had to find out that way. Imagine the British government did its very best to silence whoever sent that letter. But someone who knew the truth and couldn't bear the resentment was always going to be a problem. But still, it could have been written by anyone. Why would you believe such a thing? There was a newspaper cutting included with the letter. It was the first I'd ever heard of the professor and his terrible killing spree. Well, what did my father have to say about the letter? I couldn't bring myself to show it to him. Why not? Because he deliberately concealed the truth from me by telling me my father was taken by a fatal illness. That couldn't have been easy for him. He'd done it out of consideration for my feelings. So instead, I showed the letter to Judge Jikoku. To the other visiting student. I faltered for the briefest of moments, but then he just laughed the letter off. And in that moment, I saw it on his face. He was undeniably shocked, shaken momentarily, before recovering his poise. I should have put more poise on his gear, that's always the answer. A year later, my bereaved mother succumbed to the strain of grief, and she too passed away. That's when I made up my mind that one day, without fail, I would cross the seas to Britain and seek the truth for myself. The truth about my father, Genshin Asogi. And I wouldn't let anyone stand in my way. Oh, Kazuma-sama. What we learned today in court turned things completely on their head. It was an impressive piece of lawyering, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Lord Van Zieks isn't the Reaper, you know. I almost don't want to believe it myself, but it turns out that Inspector Gregson himself, the victim, was. It's clear that the Inspector was behind the Reaper's activities all along. What? You mean you knew? The real question is, who's been giving orders to the Inspector? Yes, Baron von Zieks is the real Reaper. And I know that 10 years ago, it was him who decided my father must be a mass murderer and sent him to his grave. No, he was merely seeing that justice was done as the law dictates. He's not to blame. Ultimately, it's people who condemn people. The law is just a tool that they use to do it. When a man condemns another, he must take responsibility for his actions. Of course he must. But I know for certain that my father would never have taken another man's life. On the contrary, my father's life was taken by the Reaper. Well, I don't really know where we're going to go from here. I don't think Sholmes is sweet. Yep. Nothing in the Justice Office. I doubt Waterloo is anything else for us. Prison? No. Fresno State Room seems unlikely. Oh, maybe Vigil's back, finally. Aha! 2nd November, St. Sinners Hospital, Ward 3. This is the ward where Mr. Vigil was brought, apparently. To be frank, I'm a little worried about seeing him again. Ah, the lawyer. Hello again. Are you feeling better now, Mr. Vigil? Yes, thank you. Somewhat better. So sorry to have caused you to. I mean, it was because of me. If I hadn't exposed your secret and forced you to remember things you'd obviously tried to forget. The prosecutor was here until a few moments ago, too. You just missed him. Oh, Cosmo beat us to it. He said much the same as you. He was very apologetic. But the truth is, I brought all this upon myself. Please, don't think like that. Keeping it from Evie, my wife, all these years. I've carried such a sense of guilt. That's not the worst of it. Over time, I obviously came to deceive myself as well. You mean about your dismissal? Looking back now, I'm beginning to think that perhaps Inspector Gregson didn't stumble across me by accident at all. I mean, he compensated me so generously for acting as a stand-in. He was clearly concerned for my well-being and doing what he could to help. So perhaps Gregson knew exactly what had become of Mr. Vigil all along, then. Sure, this is just desserts of 10 years of lies and deception, but it wasn't me that helped the professor escape 10 years ago. It wasn't me! I swear it! I swear it's true! Oh, Mr. Vigil. I'm sure you'd rather not dredge up even more from your past at this time, but if possible, could you tell us exactly what really happened? I want to. I need to get all this off my chest. I just want someone to tell me what I should have done. Sadly, nobody can really do that. Alright, what do you got? Inspector Gregson was obviously engaged in a special operation of sorts. I'm trying to take a sip. I'm going to just wrap a paper towel around the leaky bit of the bottle first, so I don't wear all of it. Perfect. Hopefully it's tight enough to stop the leaking, but whatever. Just need a drink. I think it leaked that time, but good. Cool. Special operation, read that. He was investigating something that even Scotland Yard couldn't know about. Details of the Reaper's marks, yes. It was when he had to carry out those investigations that I would take his identification and impersonate him. He'd pretend to be the inspector and carry out investigations on his behalf. No, never! A common street peddler couldn't possibly carry out a proper police investigation. All I would do is go to the specified location and make a little hoo-ha. Just something to leave an impression, so everyone there would think a detective called Gregson was here. So, that's what you were doing on that day prior to the incident. Yes, he asked me to make an appearance at the park on Lime Street for the Red-Headed League event. So as usual, I flashed the inspector's identification around and was very vocal about my presence. But then you were taken prisoner by those red-headed fraudsters. Yes. So, you'd always make a point of showing Gregson's identification and generally being loud. That's what the inspector asked me to do, yes. Well, that's one way of becoming a legendary detective, I suppose. Not a good one, though. But as you know, I suffered this bruising around my neck at their hands. But the following day, they kept their word and released me. Without returning the inspector's identification to you, however. We'd arranged to meet up in the Fresno Street room at 5 that day so I could report back to the inspector. But at the agreed time, that's when I heard the gunshot. It was at midnight on the 17th June, 10 years ago. That was the time scheduled for the execution. But the professor's execution never actually took place, did it? Or rather, the execution itself must have been used to effect the plan of escape. I hardly dare to imagine what a chilling plan it was. Barclay was renowned for being the highest security prison in the country. Everything that went in or out of the place was searched multiple times. But there was one notable exception. Or rather, one notable loophole. Something that was never questioned. I have a feeling I know what that loophole was now. Coffins into which the bodies of the executed convicts were placed, correct? Yes. Once the coroner had confirmed the death of a condemned convict, the body was taken in its coffin for immediate burial in Lowgate Cemetery just behind the prison. The chief warder first had to sign the necessary papers. And after that, no member of staff was permitted to touch the coffin containing the body again. When executions took place, only the executioner and the coroner were permitted inside the chamber. I would wait in the adjacent room for word that the condemned convict was dead. On that occasion, once I had that confirmation, I went into the mortuary to find a lone coffin as usual. The procedure was that I would sign the paperwork, having checked the coffin, and then nail it shut. But for some reason that day, the coffin was already nailed shut. No. I didn't think anything of it at the time. I assumed that my deputy must have checked the coffin and nailed it shut before I arrived. So you mean, the coffin contained... Yes, I can only imagine that Asogi, having escaped his execution somehow, was alive inside the coffin. The coffin was then taken out through the main gates and deposited in Lowgate Cemetery. Presumably there wouldn't have been enough air inside to breathe for long. So in the early hours following the burial, somebody dug up the coffin again to set Genshin free. But in the end, he was fatally shot in the graveyard anyway. What on earth really happened in Lowgate Cemetery that night, I wonder? I'm afraid I really don't know. All I can say with certainty are two things. Asogi couldn't possibly have escaped that way without help from somebody working in the prison. Yeah, that stands to reason. And that somebody was not me. Well, I guess that's info. Obviously you knew the man, then. The professor, I mean. Genshin Asogi. Yes, I remember him well, in fact. Excuse me. Would you mind telling us what you know? Well, having been condemned to death as he was, any contact I had with the man was short, obviously. After that trial, which was carried out behind closed doors, attended only by elite members of the judiciary, they called for his execution to be carried out at the earliest possible opportunity. The outcome of the trial was set from the beginning, wasn't it? It was a time of delicate diplomacy when Britain and Japan were in the process of signing an important treaty. That meant that this potentially destabilizing case had to be dealt with swiftly and discreetly. The man had less than a week in total. As I was the chief warder, I oversaw his short stay in the cells until his final hour. I remember being struck deeply by his noble character and incredible resilience. What do you mean exactly? He was a killer of many men, but he was always quiet and polite. He was a gentleman and a man of intellect. In fact, I couldn't bring myself to believe what he'd done, so I asked him one day. Those 5 members of the aristocracy whose lives were taken, were you really responsible? I'm guilty of the unforgivable crime of ending another human's life, yes. The following day, the closed trial took place, and the verdict was no surprise. Guilty. That night, when he was brought back to his cell, he saw something. Something unusual. Something unusual? What? The Last Will and Testament of Genshin Asogi. Alright. As I said, it was on the night following his trial, after he'd been found guilty. I was doing the rounds of the cells, and when I looked into Asogi's, I noticed that he seemed to have a sheet of paper in his hand. Ah, his last will and testament, then, presumably. As soon as he noticed me, he hurriedly shoved it behind his back. But why did you find that so unusual? Isn't it normal for a man to pen a will when he knows his death is nigh? Yes, that's true, but there were special conditions to Asogi's incarceration, you see. What sort of conditions? Well, even though he was held in a cell designed for condemned inmates, he was allowed to keep his personal effects with him, with one exception. Really? He was allowed his things? It is unusual, certainly. Of course, he'd been convicted of killing 5 members of the aristocracy, but at the same time, he was a guest in our country from the Empire of Japan. Powers that be were determined that his final days shouldn't be needlessly uncomfortable. What was the exception you mentioned? To the personal effects he was allowed. That's the point. He wasn't permitted to have writing material. Specifically, no pens or paper. So, he was prevented from leaving any written record of what had happened to him. Yes, that was the long and the short of it. I have no idea where he obtained that paper. Any writing materials would have been confiscated from him upon his incarceration. As I said, he hid the paper behind his back, and then he pleaded with me. What did he just hide behind your back? Please, please, turn a blind eye. This is my lifeline. But you know it's against the rules. He's the only person who's seen. If you just agree to keep quiet. Alright then, but what's on that paper? A last will and testament. This will is the only weapon I have left now. How can a will be a weapon? Well, the pen is mightier than the sword. Knowledge is dangerous. And, you know, if they were getting rid of him to cover up something else, and he went, they're covering up blank by framing me, that's a pretty weapon right there. That sure is weapon-ish. I'm sure it's fine. So I decided to pretend I'd seen nothing, and I let him keep his will. But then later, it just seemed to vanish without a trace. What? What do you mean it vanished? It vanished? It seemed that isn't the end of the story to this mysterious will. Where go will? I was the only person who saw Asogi's will, but somehow it disappeared. It was after Asogi's execution, which was actually an elaborate jailbreak. Because, you know, yeah, the warders gathered up Asogi's possessions that were in his cell. They were all to be sent back to his family home in Japan, you see. Ah. Yep. That would check out. Or Cosmo-sama. And you're saying that it wasn't anywhere to be found among his personal effects. The will, I mean. That's right, though I didn't search through them myself. But Governor Capen is livid, who's screaming, "Can I have disappeared completely?" That doesn't make sense. Quite makes sense, though, does it? In what way? Well, we'd understand that only Mr. Vigil was aware of the will's existence. In which case, how did the prison governor know to look for it? Oh yeah, you're right. I really don't know how he knew. But it certainly seemed as though he knew of the will's existence from the outset. Only he didn't refer to it as a will. What he said was... the Asogi Papers. The Asogi Papers? I really can't tell you anything of the subsequent events. Because, well, what happened? Your dismissal, and the way you blocked it all from your memory. I'd forgotten all this until today. I don't suppose it's relevant to the case, though. Well, anyway, thank you very much for sharing it with us, Mr. Vigil. We're very grateful. I'm afraid there's really little more I can tell you. My wife Evie will be here shortly, so I do hope I don't appear rude, but... No, not at all. Thank you again. What will become of you now? Well, impersonating a police officer is a criminal offense, of course. I imagine that once I'm fully recovered, I shall be arrested. So sorry. Don't be, please. This was all my own doing. I always knew that this day would come. Well, I wish you well. Goodbye, Mr. Vigil. No! Before you go, thanks. Just one thing. Okay. Oh, yes? What is it? You don't have to be crazy, you know. It's fine. It's okay. It's the Asogi Papers. I'd be very grateful if you'd make no mention of the things I told you about them. Presumably for some good reason? What are they going to do? Fire you more? It's my understanding that their very existence is a closely guarded secret. If it became known that I'd remembered, well, it could be rather troublesome, I think. Huh. But how does anyone know about them then? Like, how does anyone but him know?
I want you to wipe the hard drive on my computer.
Yeah, and in this case, you know, the hard drive being the papers, and the computer being, I guess, the notepad they're written on. But like, how do more people know about them? How are they such a secret? This is normal. Very normal. I understand. Some sort of will that Genshin Asogi penned just before his death. That's all very normal, of course. Very normal. Which the man himself claimed was his last weapon. Again, normal. I wonder. Perhaps that's something to do with his plan to escape. Is anyone who might know more about a document that Cosmo's father left behind? It would be Mr. Vigil's governor! Then we know precisely where we must go. Back to Barclay Prison. Glad everyone is not only able to read our mind, but also fully understand where our thoughts are going. It you know, speeds things up. Well, at least he seems to be on the mend. You know, his disguise as Mr. Gossip was really quite masterful, wasn't it? Can't remember anything about it except for the floppy lip. I imagine not even his wife would have recognized him. Perhaps, but did he really have to take it quite so far? I know, blue text. For sure. The location has been added. Imagine having that clock in your office as a prison warden. Like, come on. 2nd November, Barclay Prison Governor's Office. Ugh, back again, are you? Yes? Hello? Heard all about your investigations. I read the report just now. You found him, eh? Vigil. Yes, luckily. Well, anyhow. Laddie doesn't work here no more, so your case has nothing to do with Barclay. I wouldn't have liked you. You get the wrong idea about that. Of course, yes, Mr. Vigil stopped working here 10 years ago now, so... Yes, we've seen his dismissal notice, haven't we? He was given the job. Come here. You can very well. So how about a wee handful biscuit? Oh, they really are like little handcuffs, and as hard as irons, too. So, what's brought you doing here today? Well, there's something else we'd like to ask you about, actually. Is that so? Does he have an infinite biscuit? They're shaped like handcuffs, but handcuffs are also shaped like an infinity symbol, in biscuit form. Does he have an infinite biscuit? We believe that there might have been a document that disappeared from Genshin Asogi's cell. I think it's been called the Asogi Papers or something. Did I know say, Gregson's death has nothing to do with things that might have happened at Barclay. Leave the past in the past, laddie. Let's not footer about with irrelevant details. Its expressions changed completely. The battle set Gemma's, the diamond set. Ooh, okay. Very nice. Clearly onto something here. Oh, what unlocked it? Do you know what the item is that unlocked it? I gotta keep my eyes out. Or is it just another, like, comes from gathering stuff? Because I'll get those eventually, hopefully. Scarred Scale. Okay. Was it a monster drop, or was it like a collectible? Just so I know what to look out for. It's from farming. Okay, got it. Cool. Yep, perfect. Then I'll get it. Yeah, that's the type of thing that, like, it's gonna happen over time. I'm not gonna go crazy about it. Cool, appreciate it. Excited to see it. But good to know it's not something I, like, gotta go. But, yes. The murderer's botched execution and the whole miserable escape. They were Barclay's darkest hour, a shocking embarrassment. Because the convict had a collaborator on the prison staff, you mean? Aye, shame. The coroner who confirmed the death of the man after his execution, Courtney Seath, and my chief warder at the time, Vigil, who was in charge of the whole affair. But Mr. Vigil says he didn't know anything about it. The rascal wouldn't say otherwise, eh? More handcuffs. Oh, how could I say no? You can never have too much iron in your diet. But it's a biscuit. When Mr. Vigil was handed his dismissal notice as a result of what had happened. The Venom trailer dropped? Ooh. Also, somebody did make, I didn't post it. I should go find it again. Somebody made Venom in Monster Hunter Wilds, and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty decent. Hold on. Can I quickly find that? It was in... I guess I'll have to search on Twitter later. That's fine. Monster Hunter... Wilds Venom. Doesn't find it, then that's fine. No, of course not. Why would it find the post about somebody who made Venom in Monster Hunter Wilds when I search Monster Hunter Wilds Venom? Why would that find it? That would just be silly. Clearly. Thanks, Twitter, for your impeccable search function and just the general internet at large these days. When Mr. Vigil was handed his dismissal notice as a result of what had happened, he was so despairing, he jumped out of your office window, didn't he? I didn't like to say, but that's just Vigil trying to get out of it. Do you no think he would nay have jumped from the shock of his crimes being exposed, eh? I do. You wouldn't say otherwise, though, would you? Of course, can I shun all responsibility myself? I shouldn't have let him deceive me. Actually, there's barely anybody that kens what went on at the time now. We Gregson had been murdered, and Dr. Seath forbidden from having any visitors. No visitors? Someone obviously doesn't want her giving anything away. Well, we're not going home empty-handed. And I wouldn't dream of sending you packing with Nut and Kimmer. Here, take a handcuff or two. Oh, well, it would be rude to say no. Wouldn't want to become anemic. Of course. Suppose if there's anybody who might still ken about what happened back then. It'd be that lass from the forensic division. Maria Gorey. Maria Gorey. Okay. Maria Gorey? Aye, Seath's daughter. She didn't have no more. Just the one. But the wee baron's following in her mom's footsteps. You didn't ever see her without a scalpel in her hand. Ah! Dr. Seath's daughter, Maria Gorey. We could do with talking to her. So, she's Dr. Seath's daughter, but her surname is Gorey? Aye, there's some family history, I'm sure, but I didn't ken the ins and outs of it. She grew up watching her mom work with the bodies of folks who died in strange circumstances. Decided to do the same with her own life. Can I understand it myself? Perhaps she was driven by a deep respect for her mother. Perhaps. Anywho, she was in charge of Gregson's autopsy, I believe. Right, and the coroner responsible for this incomplete report. Someone told me once that the wee lassie always loved her mom's stories about cutting up bodies. There's even a rumor that she used to listen to the funeral march as a lullaby. Well, then perhaps her mother might have told her about the autopsy from the case 10 years ago. Aye, I'd say there's a fighting chance at least. After all, that was a life-changing case for all of us. We really need to speak with Miss Gorey herself about this, I think. Well, thank you very much. I'm no happy about any part of this. Took years for Londoners to finally forget the whole professor business. Can you no give up on this, laddie? Stop asking pointless questions. Sorry, I don't like dredging up these painful memories for everyone. Can you no just stay away, no? Leave me alone and then come back here, eh? I don't know, do you have anything more to hide? How'd you come to ken about that, laddie? There's no many folks, even here in the prison, who've heard of those papers. Ah, well, can't tell him Mr. Vigil told me. I'm afraid our sources must remain confidential, sir. We've been led to believe the papers are actually a last will and testament. Is that right? The professor's, or rather, Genshin Asogi's. Aye, that's right. You're well informed, Jimmy. Oh, is that the end of the silent treatment? But then after the convict's execution, you mysteriously vanished from his cell, didn't it? Avers, no, you're off at half-cock there. I think you didn't quite get the facts straight. It was there in the cell, exactly where it should have been. Oh, not what we heard elsewhere. Let me just have a wee hulk around here. I'm sure I can find it. Aye, here you are. See? The Last Will and Testament of Genshin Asogi, written with a calligraphy brush. Of course, can I read a word of these Japanese squiggles? But I mind it says he leaves all his worldly possessions to his son back at his homeland. Yes, that's correct. That's the gist of it. So these are the Asogi papers. Aye, of course they are. Papers written by Asogi, no doubt about it. No mystery here, laddie. That's your lot. After all this drama, you know that slasher then execution. We sent the man's possessions back to his clan in Japan, and that was the end of it. I think we ought to make a record of this, Mr. Naruhodo, just in case. The Asogi papers have been entered into the court record. The last will and testament of Genshin Asogi that Mr. Vigil claims disappeared after the Vigil's execution. Apparently Mr. Asogi described it as the only weapon I have left. One thing before you go on your way, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes? Those papers are not to do with Gregson's death. I'd prefer it if you didn't make no mention of them outside of this office. Or rather, I wouldn't just prefer it. Consider it an order from the highest levels of our government. I understand. This is totally normal and fine. This is how normal people talk about normal documents in normal events that have happened in normal places. Always. Now it's a matter of... Oh, no, I know where we should go. We've got someone whose story is slightly different. No, we can't present him anything! Well, pants. I don't know where to go. We've got 4... Usually it's whoever doesn't have 4. But it could still just mean rubbing things on people. I mean, this doesn't count. Got 4. Not here, shockingly. Nobody here. To be fair, he doesn't have 4. Can I show him the papers? Governor... yeah, okay. No, I can't. Okay, got it. Not that. Fine. We can stop bothering him with that one. The photograph? No. To be fair, he might not react to anything, but that wouldn't do anything. That wouldn't do anything. Don't think he cares about the victim. I mean, he's clearly aware of it, though. He definitely knows more than he's letting on. But what would in any way affect him? The weird autopsy report? Nope. I don't think that would do it. No, okay. I guess we need to go find the daughter, but I don't think we had the place open up for that, did we? So, like, maybe we don't have anything for him yet? Doubt that matters. Okay, yeah, he's just not gonna... Nothing. Yep, handcuffs. Yep, handcuffs. Sure. Just a picture of Vigil? Okay. That was the last one I thought might have any amount of something. Where do we find the daughter? Still find it weird that he's the only one without... Alright, screw it. I think we did the photo already. Just gonna go down the list just so we did. I don't think he'd... He's clearly not helping us anything, but we need to know how to actually, you know, find the daughter? Maybe it's the autopsy report. Did I try that? Nope. Okay. Oh, I'll have to check it out. Why? I don't know if looking around his room is going to find the right place. He wouldn't know about the Asogi papers. Yeah, no. There's something Asogi. Yeah, no, he wouldn't know. Yeah. Okay. We're just trying to figure out how to reach her. Yeah, I didn't think anyone would be here. We can't talk with him again. I am curious who his bedmate is. This isn't gonna help us. I definitely haven't rubbed the right things on the... Oh. I wonder what his take on the Asogi papers would be. Will they let me? No, they won't. Okay, yep. Correct. So we're not going to discuss evidence here. Yeah, that's fair. That's understandable. Yep. Cool. Yep. He's not the one we gotta show things to. There's somebody we need to rub stuff on. I don't think it's Iris. There's nobody in the Justice's office. We're definitely missing rubbing the right thing on the right person somewhere. Nobody in Waterloo. I still think it's him, but he's reacted to nothing we've shown him. Oh, what's that? What's that there then? It's actually the sign of a Japanese defense lawyer. Well, if you have to wear something like that to prove who you are, perhaps I should wear these handcuffs, eh? I think maybe they're more like a sign of the people you catch than yourself. Aye, that's true. You've got me there, and they're not actually a sign of anything, are they? Well, not helpful, but it was something different. Yep, not gonna look at that one. Well, we showed him the photograph already. Doubt. Well, how about that? Brenda Mikotoba turning up after all these years. And his wee Baron even. My father speaks highly of you, sir. I can see the resemblance now. Oh. Aye, especially around your eyes. You look dead like him. What an interesting observation. Not the delighted reaction from Susato-san that he might have been expecting. Okay, not helpful, but it's something... Oh, we showed the dismissal already, that's not it. I don't know how to... It's weird that he's not talking. Maybe we have to find something in his room. I haven't examined his room, so that's possible. We have previously, and I don't think anything's changed. That's not going to do it either. Nothing at hairpiece. Why would he have anything to say about the candelabrum? But like, this is just to prove we've rubbed everything on everyone. Or him. We showed Gregson, we showed Autopsy. Nothing with the notice board. Definitely nothing with the firecrackers, but again, it's just proving. Just in case I'm missing something super obvious. I'm a little surprised he had nothing to say about the victim, but it's fine. He wouldn't. We showed him the other three, I don't think I showed him the watch. Cool. So we showed him everything. talked about everything. We know we need to talk to her, but how do we find her? The report wasn't great. It's definitely not him. I don't think Barrick is gonna react to anything. Because the only new info we got was that. And I guess technically a photo, but I don't think he really cares about the photo. I could show him, but I don't think he cares. I don't think he cares in the context of trial, yeah, at all. Everything else he would have known about. There's no one there. Vigil doesn't want to talk. Oh, excuse me. So he doesn't want to talk. He won't even let me show him anything. It's like he really doesn't. I didn't look around here though. I should look at this. What the? It's a scale model of the crime scene. Oh, yes, I realize that. Does the prosecution office make a model of the scene for every single case? Apparently so. Sometimes it helps to visualize things better and notice things you hadn't spotted before. Actually, the miniature notice board is my work. Be honest, you enjoyed making that. Okay. That was the thing that drew my attention the most before, so I don't know if we have anything else in here that's really going to help us. Yeah, you know, the newest line. There's got to be something in the environment here we're missing. Because he's the one who only has 3 options. So there's got to be something we got to look at here. This grandfather clock is fitted with a terrifying blade that keeps dropping down. It's modeled on the guillotine, a French execution device. You might have heard of it. And yes, before you ask, it can chop. Heads off, you mean? Havers, no, carrots and parsnips and so forth. Oh. Place a large carrot at the bottom of there in the morn. By evening it'll have been cut clean in 2. Well, the blade must have an almost indescribable edge on it. Yeah, that's the slowest damn chopper I've heard of. An axe, a hunting rifle, and 4 pairs of handcuffs. That's a daunting collection. Ah, there's a story behind every one of those. You mean the rifle was a famous killer's murder weapon, and the axe was wielded by an infamous executioner, and the handcuffs were once used to immobilize a fierce 4-legged beast where it was arrested? I think you're in the realms of fantasy now, Mr. Naruhodo. Not those kind of stories, Jimmy. That axe was the one I used to chop down the cherry tree at my house. Miss Caden would stay best pleased. Ha! And the cuffs on the left are the ones I caught my first burglar with back when I was a bobby. Stories were a little different to those you imagined, I think, weren't they? Yes, to my relief, and in some small way, my disappointment. Alright, so that's the entire middle. Suppose these are all former governors of Barclay Prison, are they? Either that, or former inmates who the governor had sent to the gallows. Oh dear, they all have such severe expressions. I really couldn't deny either possibility. Especially the one on the extreme right. Goes beyond severe into a whole new territory. That one's me. Ah! No, I'm terribly sorry, sir. Is it a prerequisite of the job, perhaps? Having a severe expression, I mean? Of course it's not. Although, it is taken into consideration. A lot. I guess we check the bird. I'd never have expected to find a parrot in a prison. Must be the governor's pet. Given where we are, it's hard not to see the poor creature as a prisoner. Let me out! Did he kill me? Ah! Has the bird learned to mimic the plaintive cries of the inmates in the cells? Oh, no. He was one of the 3 siblings, you see. And he still calls out the names of his 2 brothers like that all the time. Right. Let me out. Dinna kill me. Aye. I hear you, laddie. You want your dinner, eh? Dinna do it? Names for birds, I guess. It's a very large cabinet full of papers, isn't it? It's labeled Inmate Register. Look, and all the files are in alphabetical order. That's 50 years worth of records of Barclay's inmates. Whether or not they left alive after serving their term. All the details about the crimes they committed are recorded in there, like an epitaph, you might say. Record of crimes and punishments. How dispiriting. And yet, this man seems to be enjoying tea and biscuits as he talks about it. I mean, it is his job. Depressing or not. That deer's been staring at me for a while now. It has. Poor thing can't fit through the small hole in the wall, but it can't get its head back out again now either. It's giving me a woefully imploring look. It's not real, Mr. Naruhodo. It's stuffed. What? I mean, yes, of course it is. For a moment, I thought it was another assassin sneaking in via the ventilator. I don't like to say, but I think perhaps you need to reread The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. It says nothing here that adds anything at all. What the hell are we missing? We can't present people, and we presented each thing at least once. Oh, do you know what I should do? I should examine this. I, Genshin Isogi, hereby request that upon my death, any and all material possessions and wealth belonging to me in London be delivered to my son Cosmo Isogi in the Empire of Japan. It is with deep sadness that I accept my fate in this foreign land, in the knowledge that I will never see my homeland or family again, but I regret nothing about my chosen path. Okay. Now we just gotta start rubbing blindly then. Oh, maybe he'll know about the autopsy report. Nope. Because we need to find the woman who wrote it. Oh, we showed him this one already. Yeah, he's almost certainly not going to help us, but like, we're running out of people who can. But he does have 4 already. All signs point to the guy at the prison, but wish it wasn't me getting stuck here again. But, you know, what else is new? He knows about all the other evidence. He was in the trial. I guess maybe not everything. He gave, but like anything he doesn't know about from the trial is something like he gave us, or it's not relevant to him, or what we're trying to ascertain. So kind of a rubbing segment. Yeah, at least here there's no HP loss when I fail. I have no idea though. I don't know how people intuit these sections. I exhausted every dialogue option with each person and went to each area and looked around. Clearly, I gotta rub the right thing on the right person, but what can I rub on someone who will tell me where... Yeah, like, I don't mind the rubbing section. It's not the end of the world. But this is something I don't get how you can intuit. Maybe when we find what the actual answer is, it's not for me. Ah, that's not why I was showing it to you. I suppose if it was a black-headed league, you would have no hesitation. None whatsoever. Sadly, my own hair could no more be described as black as it could red. What colored league should I then join? People are troubled by the most unexpected problems at times. You know, I'm glad I found that one at least. That was good. I think you know that this is worn by people in my country to show that they're defense lawyers, don't you? And I think you know that I believe you to be merely playing at lawyercraft initially. But it would seem your R-band may actually imply some dormant talent after all. Lord Van Zieks, do you mean... Let's hope you wake up soon. Yes, I was clearly daydreaming. I almost thought I got a compliment there. Like, all the logic in my mind says that it's the guy at the prison, but we've rubbed everything on him. We've examined everything in this room. Oop, wrong. We've examined everything here, and I wish we could talk to him again, but we can't. So we've examined everything here. We'll try Asogi, but he's not going to want to see anything. Because rightfully so, he's like, no. I'm shocked when I found out they were related to the case, the Red-Headed League, I mean. Personally, it wasn't their plan to swindle everyone that surprised me. It was the fact that so many red-headed people gathered from all over London that day. A certain great detective being among them. Being able to get to the forensics area. Yeah, I can't get to the forensics area yet. That's what I'm trying to achieve, for sure. I expect those two are in the cells as we speak, wishing they'd never dreamt up their little plan. Maybe they're busy plotting their next one. Yeah, like, that's the key thing. Like, I just can't go to the forensics lab. Legal, Sholmes, Justice Office, Waterloo, Prison Governor's Office, Prison, Street Room, Hospital Bed, Prosecutor's Office. So, we can't go. Even though he definitely told us about her, and I even replayed the conversation just to make sure. He definitely told us about her. We, in character, went, yep, we gotta go talk to her, and that hasn't happened yet. So, but he also only has 3 dialogue options, and almost everybody ends up with 4s. But I rubbed everything on him. I rubbed him with everything. He is thoroughly rubbed. So, I don't know. And my only option... Carla? I don't think we... I mean... No, so what do you make of this? We're trying Cosmo now. So, we're rubbing everything on him at the moment. Also, hey, Astro Dude, how's it going? Welcome to Viper Land in the chat. So, the rubbing has commenced. He was the last one I hit. Oh no, he's not the last. Iris would be the last, if nothing works for him. I really don't think Iris is the answer. Ah! The Reaper. At last I got to take my revenge. Kazuma, Lord Van Zieks isn't responsible for your father's death, and he's not the Reaper. He's the defendant and deserving of a fair trial. I mean, like the one my father had. It's a closed trial now, too. The conditions are exactly as they were 10 years ago. And even if it ruffles some feathers, I have a plan to show that man for what he really is. Kazuma. Nothing like that. So at least getting reactions from some things. Nothing that's opened away yet, but, you know. It'd be funny if Iris knows something. It would be really funny if that was the answer, because I was so sure it's not. This came up in the trial, didn't it? As something a little dubious, I mean. The fact that no time of death was recorded on Inspector Gregson's autopsy report. Yes, there were some unexpected turns in that courtroom earlier. The suggestion you came up with certainly took everyone by surprise. The idea that the victim died the previous day in some other location is quite something. Oh, we had to show him specifically the thing? Alright. Well, considering when the pocket watch had stopped and the scorch marks on the candle, it's certainly a distinct possibility. The evidence and the scene both point to it. To be honest, it bothered me too, so I paid a visit to the autopsy room earlier. The coroner responsible wasn't there, but I got a name. It's Dr. Gory. If it wouldn't trouble you, Kazuma-sama, we'd very much like to speak with the coroner too. Of course, the last thing I want is for anything to be brushed under the carpet. Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory is behind Lowgate Cemetery. Lowgate Cemetery? By Barclay Prison, you mean? Ah, you know it, do you? The prison where my father was incarcerated and robbed of his life. Kazuma-sama. Well, oh well, thank you. We'll pay a visit to the laboratory later today. Or like right now. Ryunosuke, I want to thank you. What for? With this. You safeguarded the soul of the Asogi clan. Well, it is a famous sword that's been in your family for generations. My only slight regret is that I never got the chance to draw it before I returned it to you. Karuma is said to have been forged by a master swordsmith during the Sengoku Warring States period. Wow. I came from a long lineage of warriors, many of whom were expert swordsmen. Well, then you're a chip off the old block, I'd say. This blade, Karuma, is a symbol of the Asogi clan's honor and might. Apparently, one of my father's apprentices even took the blade's name for his surname. Really, Karuma. Does sound formidable, that's for sure. 16 years ago, when my father was a visiting student here in London, he had this sword forever at his side, which is why it means so much to me that I have it by my side again now, too. And that is all thanks to you. It was an honor. I mean, you know, it's fine. Now, I have preparations to make for tomorrow. Perhaps I said a little too much. Kazuma, you've changed. No, Ryunosuke, I haven't changed at all. You who's changed. I can completely understand your resentment of Lord Van Zieks given what happened. But the fact is, those events in this case are, well, unrelated? Unrelated. Is that what you want to say? How can you be so sure? What do you mean? Never mind. That man is the Reaper, and it's for that reason that the inspector was killed. I'm going to prove as much in court tomorrow. By whatever means necessary. Can't let you do that, Star Fox. Kazuma. I know you'll do what you have to as a lawyer, but I'm sure I don't need to tell you that I won't be taking any prisoners in the courtroom. I would expect nothing less. Until tomorrow, then, the Old Bailey. Alright. Well, that's a very definitive we are done here. New forensics laboratory available. Cool. We did eventually find it. I mean, nice boy from the replay button. Good, good. 2nd November, forensics laboratory. This place really is creepy, isn't it? Well, being a dead room, it's probably full of the spirits of the dissected. But actually, there's a rather pleasing scent of roses in the air. Well, being a dead room, the coroner probably needs a bold scent like that to mask the odor of death. Yo, Iris? Do you think we could change the subject? I think it'd be hard to, in this room. What? What was that? Well, hello. Ah, Dr. Gory? Hello? Just gonna approach us like that? What? That noise before. I was sharpening my tools. Sorry, hold on. I was sharpening my tools. I'd be dead meat if I didn't keep a perfectly keen edge on them. Right. Legit forgot we had that sound effect. When following the collagen fibers in the dermis, an expertly sharpened scalpel cuts like cheese. Sometimes you just gotta chuck a bunch of paintballs at a really long-necked herbivore and record the sound it plays. You know, perfectly normal things I didn't do to record myself in the 3DS version of Generations or anything. Oh, yes, please, I'd love to see.
Jen, I think you'll do nicely.
Huh? No, I wouldn't do nicely at all. I mean, maybe some other time. Is that a tut? Well, we came here to ask questions, so... Oh yeah, I gotta watch that too. I saw that the trailer was posted. And that apparently he releases tomorrow? So that's cool. We've actually met before. I'm a lawyer, if you remember.
You're not dead yet.
What?
So Mama said I wasn't to cut you open. She's so strict about things like that.
Well, good. Dr. Seath has some scruples, at least. Oh dear. Looks like she's not interested in talking to us, for the time being, anyway. Time being? You mean, till we die? I hope that's a way off. Sorry, but I wasn't planning on dying anytime soon. Surely there's some less drastic way of making her listen. Maybe the autopsy report? Dr. Gory, we actually came here to ask you about this.
He was very good.
Good? Sorry?
His skin didn't snag my blade once, and very little mess. His joints dislocated easily, and his muscle tissue was a pleasure to work with.
Well, we can skip those details. But there's one thing about the report that's caught my attention. You don't seem to have recorded a time of death. That's not my fault. Oh, that made me jump. Then please, tell us what happened. Aha! So, why doesn't this autopsy report include the victim's time of death then? It's really the most crucial detail.
I was told not to write it.
What? By whom?
Niall Strongheart, the Lord Chief Justice. He came here.
Lord Strongheart came? Why would you stop there? Why would you stop there? Why would you stop there? Okay.
He said that from the witnesses' statements about the gunshot and the other evidence, it was obvious.
Phrasing?
Thank you.
The man clearly died at 5 p.m. on 1st November when the gunshot was heard.
But that's not the time of death you wrote in the report. You didn't write anything. Was there some reason you didn't include it? Dr. Gory, if you're hiding something under Lord Strongheart's instructions, then sooner or later, you're going to go the same way as your mother. Sorry, no mask. Give it here, then. What's she scribbling so furiously? Probably a time of death. There. You've written... What? What's she written? Tell us! Indeterminate. But... the details of the autopsy report have been updated in the court record. Thanks. According to the coroner, Dr. Gory, an accurate estimation of the time of death is not possible. It's not helpful. What do you mean by that? Why was the time of death indeterminate? When the specimen was brought in, it was still fresh, so the time of death could easily have coincided with when the gunshot was heard.
But there was one small discrepancy.
What discrepancy?
There is some fried fish in the pocket of the specimen's overcoat. And that fish had started to rot.
What? That's why he had to keep eating it. It was gonna go bad. Obviously, it was always seconds away from going bad, so he just had to keep eating it and eat it. That doesn't make any sense at all.
If the victim liked fried fish, he presumably liked to eat it before it went on.
Well, yes. What are you really trying to say?
It's possible that someone tried to manipulate the apparent time of death.
Manipulate the... Is that even possible to do?
Theoretically, if you were to chill the body in ice, you could delay the onset of putrefaction. And if the overcoat wasn't on the body at the time,
Then only the fish would have started to rot. Somebody put him on ice naked.
with today's science, it's not yet possible to determine if the body was chilled or not.
But today's science is advanced enough to let you freeze a corpse, it seems. But surely, to chill a corpse like that would require an enormous electrical refrigerator, and I don't imagine many households in London are equipped with such a device. No, definitely not. But maybe in a factory, or some other special place. I don't recall seeing any factories or such like... on Fresno Street, though. I wonder... The inspector's body had been chilled somehow. What might the actual time of death have been?
I couldn't say for sure.
But at the most, it might have been a day earlier. No! In other words, it would corroborate your previous deduction, Mr. Naruhodo. That Inspector Gregson was killed a day before his body was discovered, at a different location. Did you inform Lord Strongheart of this possibility? He simply said that there was no electrical refrigerators of that size in the vicinity. Suspicions... Oh yes, one other thing. It's something the governor of Barclay Prison told us. He said that your mother, Dr. Seath, was responsible for confirming the death of the professor after his execution. The professor. Apparently, you always enjoyed listening to your mother's stories about her work, so we were wondering if you might know something about what happened 10 years ago. That's not all Mama did. Sorry? My Mama carried out the autopsy of Clint Van Zieks as well. What? Really? The brother of Lord Van Zieks. The professor's final victim. Also, could you lower the blades? Lower and further from us. The idea of carrying out an autopsy on a member of the aristocracy was completely unthinkable back then. But the detective in charge of the investigation insisted, and it was miraculously authorized. That detective being Inspector Gregson, of course. Quite an accomplishment for one man. That autopsy provided the vital clues needed to arrest the killer. And Mama was there for that historic event. What does all this mean? You know, that amazing autopsy happened right here in this very room. The professor and Clint Van Zieks. They both spent their final moments before their burial on that dissection table there. So this lab, Mama's lab, was instrumental in some of this country's most important events. She really is proud of her mother. I wonder if you'd tell us more about exactly what happened back then, Dr. Gory. I guess they will. The professor's execution was Mama's first big case. She had to be in attendance at Barclay Prison execution chamber and sign the certificate to confirm the convict's death. Mama is the best coroner in the world, you know. I was so proud of her. But the execution didn't actually take place. No, and worse still, Mama actually helped with the jailbreak.
I didn't want to know.
Oh dear, you found out recently, you mean?
I believed in her and Mama, but now I wonder if I'm staring down the same path as her.
You mean because you omitted the time of death on this autopsy report? That's because Lord Strongheart forbade you from including it.
Just like Mama, I'm sure she was coerced by somebody too.
Yes, that's my feeling as well. There's no doubt that there were powerful forces at play 10 years ago. The execution couldn't have been staged without a lot of people at the prison knowing about it. Obviously, the prison governor must have been in on it as well. Big man with the little handcuffs, according to what he told us, he was stripped by the chief warder. He says he knew nothing about it. Of course he said that. I'd say the same thing. Just who was behind that jailbreak all those years ago? You mentioned the autopsy of Clint Van Zeeks. It was at a time when carrying out autopsies of murder victims was very unusual. It's still not a practice that's observed in our country, even now. It turned out that he was the professor's final victim, and when the autopsy was performed, Mama was present, although only as the secondary assistant. The person leading the procedure was called Dr. John H. Wilson. That's right, my daddy. And there was one other person present, the primary assistant. He was a visiting student from the Far East. Wait, visiting student? Must have been my father, Eugen Mikotoba. Man, it's a small world. Both of their dads and her mother were present as the assisting coroners on the most important autopsy to have happened in this country in the past decade. You know. No idea Professor Mikotoba had been involved in something so important. But the outcome of that historic autopsy was the discovery of a vital piece of evidence that led to the capture of the professor. So that's how they came to identify Genshin Isogi as the infamous mass murderer. Do you happen to know anything about that piece of evidence? Can you tell us any more?
Would you like to see the records for yourself?
What? Would that be alright?
What's the point of keeping records if people can't look at them?
She's got a point! They're filed
under V in the back of these covers with the other records from the last decade.
Thank you. Let's see. Van Zeeks. That's strange. What, Mr. Naruhodo? They aren't here. There's nothing under Van Zeeks.
It must be.
Perhaps somebody took them away? No one's allowed to take documents related to the professor case out of this room. You're right, they're gone. Well, when was the last time somebody looked at them? Do you remember? It was... Oh yes, I remember now. It was 2 years ago. An insulting detective came one day saying that he'd like to see the records. No, you don't mean... Locke Sholmes was his name. Deep down, I knew that was coming. Do you think he stole the records? Oh no, surely not! Iris, that can't be right, can it? Iris? Bruno? I hope you don't mind, but... What is it, Iris? I just remembered something very important I have to do. I'm going to have to leave you now. It would be really great if any one person told us what they know about what's going on. I say, as the person controlling the character who knows that her father was murdered and won't tell her about it. So, you know, there's that. It's not like it's any one person, it's everyone. Oh, this is very sudden, Iris. Well, we'll come with you then. Oh no, there's no need. You and Bruno can take your time here. Bye for now then. Good luck. Wait a minute, little girl. Huh? Me? I remember now. You've been here before, haven't you? Have you, Iris? Yes, 2 years ago, when that detective came. You were with him, weren't you? You were a living specimen then, too. That's the way it usually works, yes. Was I? I don't remember. Anyway, sorry, but I must dash. Wait, Iris. I'll brew up a pot for you when we get home. Okay. What's the matter with her? She's behaving really strangely all of a sudden. As soon as you mentioned that Holmes might have those autopsy reports, suddenly she's acting very strangely. Well, in that case, we won't keep you any longer either. It's been quite a while since I had any visitors. This was really fun. But next time you come, I'd prefer it if you were ready for dissection. Can't make any promises, sorry. It's a bit strange that the records of Clint von Zeke's autopsy have disappeared. But I think we've asked all we came to ask now. I guess that leaves us back with seeing what's up with Iris. Nope, she's gone. Did we actually gain any tangible evidence from that? Yeah, we got no written evidence. Like, I'm sure we've learned things. We don't have anything that we could show anyone. And we're now somehow even more suspicious than we used to be of the Chief Justice, but, you know, sure, it's fine. Sure, it's fine. He's left. He's left. We're running out of people we can't even ask anything of. Aha, okay. 2nd November, room on Fresno Street. That, like, suitcase is new, right? Police is still busily investigating in here, then. But Gina's nowhere to be seen. Where is she? Yes, it has been blissfully quiet, hasn't it? Perhaps she's out investigating on her own, practicing what her boss taught her. Well, I expect she'll be back before too long. Shall we wait? Actually, there's something different about this room since the last pickup we were here, isn't there? Yes, slightly. We could always use the time to investigate more thoroughly. Yes, there is something different. That is correct. Ever so slightly. This little trunk wasn't here before, was it? Oh, it appears to be made of metal. It must be very heavy. I wonder to whom it belongs. There's some initials on the outside. Look. TG. That could be anyone. Let's ask one of the policemen if they know how it came to be here. Oi! What do you think you're doing? That's my trunk, that is. Hands off. Nina. Where were you hiding? I don't know. You leave something unattended for a few seconds and every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got a greedy eyes on it. Just a wild guess, Gina, but... What? Spit it out, Odo. Is it fair to say that you've only owned that trunk since this morning's trial? What? What are you trying to say? Come on, this trunk goes with me everywhere, always has. Where have you been the last year? Try not to incur your wrath, mainly. Nothing suspicious ever. So, how's things going? You should hear them talking at the yard now. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're saying that it was the boss who killed all them bludgers. Ah, you mean the whole Reaper thing? Yeah. Apparently the boss was investigating stuff that no one else at the yard knew nothing about. Stuff to do with all them criminals who got off scot-free. Yes, the ones prosecuted by Lord Van Zeeks, who used bribery and corruption to evade conviction. Well then obviously, it was that bloomin' Reaper giving the orders, weren't it? But why would people be suspecting Inspector Gregson of being involved in the killings? There's a notebook hidden in his office. Oh no, this doesn't sound good. It had details about all the crimes that have been pegged as the Reaper's work. What? No, did you see it, Gina? Did you see that notebook? They wouldn't blame and let me, because I'm just an apprentice, apparently. Yeah, no, yeah, she's pissed. Rightfully so. Like, very rightfully so. But it was me who found it, and he was my boss. That's right. I was pretty miffed about it, so I sneaked a peek at what it said anyway. Oh, that's Argina. A secret notebook. So, he managed to see what was written in Gregson's secret notebook anyway, did he? The way I see it, it's my right to read what he wrote. And what had he written, Gina? Dates, times, places, names, an old long list of them. All details about the bludger's supposed to have been done in by the Reaper. But there could be an explanation for that. Perhaps it was a record of the Inspector's investigations into the Reaper's activities. Exactly, that's what I said. That's the first thing you think, right? As it happens, it was full of names I recognized anyway. Well, the Reaper's targets were almost exclusively known leaders of London's criminal underworld. Well, yeah, but there was one name right at the end that was a bit odd. At the end of the list, you mean? Pretty sure the date against it is 31st October. Oh, the day before the Inspector was found dead! So, what was the odd name? It weren't like a name I've ever seen before. It was something like, nah, it's no good. Can't remember it. Not like that would be helpful here. I don't think it was an English name, put it that way. Oh dear. What a pity. There's something else, too. I don't know if it matters, but the same name kept coming up over and over again. Shin, it was. I don't suppose it means anything, but... it kinda does. Did you say Shin? What? What? Does it mean something? Lord Van Zieks knew the name too. He mentioned her as well. The woman who actually did the deeds. And now we find out her name appeared in Gregson's secret notebook. What a tangled web. We haven't seen you for a little while, have we, Gina? Of course not. I've been busy, ain't I? Investigating in that. The lads at the yard are trying to trace the boss's movements the day before it happened. Day before? That would be the undercover investigation into the Red-Headed League, then. Only the boss didn't go, did he? You found some cove what was pretending to be him, didn't you? Yes, it was Mr. Vigil who actually went to the park on Lime Street that day, posing as Gregson. Well, anyway, you ain't the only one turning stuff up. I got my own ways of getting results. When me and my partner here can get together, there's nothing we can't track down. I mean, it's a good pop, obviously. Oh, little Toby. He's such a faithful friend. So, have you tracked anything down then? What do you think, eh? Of course we have. Can't you tell, though? Police business. Can't tell you, though. Police business, isn't it? Anyway, the point is, if you lot ever need any help, you know who to turn to, right? Me and the L-Hound here. Right. Because he looks oh so hellish, honest. I like that his scarf and, like, her undershirt are the same fabric. Slash her tie neckerchief? Gina, about your Hellhound there. Chief Inspector Toby, you mean? He's the pride of the force, he is. In Japanese, police dog means something quite different and not altogether nice to those involved in crime. But here in Britain, it's a wonderful compliment, it seems. For a canine, at least. It should be. After all, in the great exhibition case the other day, it was Toby here who managed to locate Drebber's workshop. Maybe it's time for another demonstration of what the super dog can do, eh? Do we have something the Chief Inspector could catch the scent of, I wonder? Do we? I'm curious about these Sogi papers, but... Huh, I wonder about the red hairpiece. I feel like it's gotta be the red hairpiece.
Take that!
Probably wrong, though. Well, Chief Inspector Toby, if you wouldn't mind having a sniff of this. He might be a little too keen, don't you think? And there he goes. I like how she holds him like a gun. Chief Inspector made short work of Gina there. Ah, look what he's gone to. Oh my, that trunk clearly still has a very strong scent. Of Inspector Gregson. In other words, must have belonged to him. Alright, it's a fair cop, I suppose. And you nearly got away with it, too. You always talk so proudly of Chief Inspector Toby's nose and what it can achieve. Did it not cross your mind that he might identify something that was right next to us? Yeah, that was a bit of a bloomer, weren't it? That's enough now then, Gina. Huh? I think it's time you told us the truth. About that trunk. It weren't like that. It just weren't. What are you talking about? I know what's going through that head of yours, but that ain't what happened. Alright then. What did happen? Well, like I said before, we were trying to trace the boss's movements. So let Toby here have a whiff of the boss's overcoat. And as soon as I done that, he went off like a shot. Straight to that sandwich. To a sandwich? No, capital S. Not to a bag of chips? No, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe Gina means the witness. Hell yeah, pup. Oh, I forgot about that sandwich. Yeah, he had it between them wooden boards of his boss's trunk.
Toku Sentai, Toku Sentai, Toku Sentai, Toku Sentai.
It is true. That sandwich. You mean when they heard the sound of like a gun? When they heard the sound like a gunshot and all piled in here? Exactly. He nabbed it from the scene. Goodness. Me and the Chief Inspector gave that sandwich a good grilling, and you know what he said? I thought it might fetch a good price and cheap, and the chap wouldn't be needing it anymore, so... but that's all I did, nothing more, nothing less. Would you, Adam and Eve, the cheek of it ass, stealing the dead boss's stuff the fog? So Miss Venus wasn't the only one to meddle with the scene of the crime, then. How could they? So anyway, that's how it happened. And it's a pretty decent trunk, so I figured I might as well make use of it. Is there something wrong with that, eh? Well, maybe you and Mr. Sandwich should try to find the answer to that question together. Can we open it? What's inside of it? I think perhaps that trunk should be turned over to the police, don't you? What are you on about? I am the police! Gina, if you wouldn't mind, could we maybe examine it? Yeah, alright then. Do what you want with it. Thank you. I shall make a detailed record of our examination of the evidence. Gregson's trunk has been entered into the court record. Hello? What's the matter with Toby? Why is he acting so aggressively towards me all of a sudden? Mr. Naruhodo, be careful! It must be the trunk! Okay. Pop attack. Thud. Toby, oh, what you doing? You're gonna lick his face off!
He might actually be dead.
Mr. Naruhodo! Mr. Naruhodo! Cheetah, quickly! Hail a carriage! Yep, no, I think we have died. 2nd November, 4:57 p.m., Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. Yep, he's dead. Naruhodo has passed away. We'll never find all the answers. Mr. Naruhodo, are you alright? Miss Susato. Ah, conscious again at last. A blessed relief, my dear fellow. After all, to drop dead after a moderate licking by a small terrier. Most unseemly. What is or isn't seemly is irrelevant here, Mr. Sholmes. Damn. With just one snip, she can knock him flat on his ass. So glad there's no lasting damage. How are you feeling? I'm fine, thank you. Did you bring me back here? Is that your first time seeing Sholmes without the without the overcoat? Ah, what's this on my head? A bandage? Sadly, we had no ice, so that's a compress of sugar water. Sugar water. Don't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a first aid treatment that my father taught me. Oh, thank you. I wasn't ready. So let us take tea when you're feeling up to it. But of course, no sugar in the patient's cup. Ugh, the bump in my head is throbbing sweetly enough, don't worry. Whenever you feel ready, then. Alright, well. Okay. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? It's rather unusual to find ourselves here in the middle of our investigations. It's just occurred to me that I might have forgotten something when we left this morning. Please don't worry. As long as you continue to investigate thoroughly, you won't go far wrong. Oh, yes, of course. I must get back to work as soon as possible. Hey, Sholmes. How's it hanging? Thank you for your concern, Mr. Sholmes. My dear fellow, think nothing of it. I must say I was quite startled when I heard that you'd been attacked by a dog. For a moment, I feared that infamous murder of so many had come back from the dead. You mean the professor? Fortunately, I see your prized throat is unscathed. That stiff, turned-up collar of yours obviously afforded some welcome protection. I'm getting attacked by hot men today. There's worse problems to have, I suppose. But yeah, no, it's. I guess it'll keep happening. Oh yeah, Susato Slam would kill him. If a glance and a snappy remark knocked him down, Susato Slam would kill the man. Was I that close to death? All I really remember is the dog licking my face over and over and over again. Well, if you wish to avoid such troubles in the future, a little mustard spread on the cheek should do the trick. I should think that would balance the sweetness of your bandage rather splendidly. Sure. Thanks, Sholmes. I don't know if there's anything else new around to look at. Can we move? Can we look at this? Did you get Fresno Street? Yeah, I'll get back there. Seen this huge gash across the side of the trunk here? It's gone right through the leather and into the metal behind. Gosh, for a metal chest like this to have been so badly damaged. Whatever made the gash must have struck the side of the trunk with considerable force. Wonder how it happened. Hello, bloodstain. Look at this dark stain here. Do you think... Yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood. Ugh, I knew you were going to say that. So that presumably means that this was present at the scene when Inspector Gregson was killed. It's almost a logical conclusion, yes? I think Gina's been carrying this around with her. If you didn't know any better, I suppose it does look like a grease stain from all the fish and chips. Alright, so it's got blood, it's got a gash. Oh, it's got a key. Let's have a look inside. Oh, no, just a button. Look, there's something inside. Oh, let's see. It appears to be a passport, authorizing him to travel overseas. Was Inspector Gregson about to go on a trip abroad then? Perhaps the date of departure might tell us something. That was... Oh, what is it? It's for travel on 31st October, just one day before the incident. What? Really? Passport has been entered into the court record. Travel to France. Wasn't he getting moved to, France for work? But I guess none of us knew it was going to be... It's going to try all the fish. Yes, that's it. Foreign fish and chips. He already ate all of Britain's fish and chips. Gotta go to other countries. Gregson went to France the day before his body was discovered. Can't imagine there's much else in here. Ah, good luck. I don't know if we have any French fish in the pond, but, maybe you'll find something. It definitely seems to be about all. Jeez, that is a heckin' gash in the side there, though. Nope, you could have caught some fish, but you caught a baseball. Congrats. Name Tobias Gregson. Passport number ACD0522. Date of departure within 1 week from 31st October. Destination Port of Dunkirk, France. Purpose of travel, police business. Notes, permission for the applicant and 1 additional person to travel. Huh, okay. Okay. Is Gina down here? Not Gina, Iris, sorry. 2nd November. Bones is sweet.
Her mit dem Schwarzbiergebot, brodelnd wie ein Feuerberg, den Schlund es mir verbrannt, ach Hopfen deine Wut. Her mit dem Knacker ich befahl, hat wie ein Diamant den Zahn entzwei, es brach, o über deine Wut.
That is a really nice touch, though. The passport, I didn't put that together, but that's really cool. That's definitely German. I don't speak German, so I don't know what it's saying, but it is definitively German.
Alle Seiten es zerriss wie Ode an die Wut.
Okay.
Her mit dem Schwarzbiergebot,
What on earth is going on in here? Am I having a bad dream?
Feuerberg, den Schlund es mir
Ah, no, it's an old German folk song. Rather fine rendition, I think. That's the least of my... That's one of my concerns, but...
mit dem Knacker ich befahl,
Iris?
wie ein Diamant.
Iris, what's the matter? Who's that sprawling? I mean, that relaxed gentleman over there. Iris? Is she even listening? Excuse me, sir. I do apologize for troubling you whilst you're singing so merrily, but would you be kind enough to explain the situation? Well, that worked. A crooning gentleman and a mute young girl. A rather tantalizing juxtaposition. And one that appears to have incited the gods of deduction within me to find their voices too. Ah, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean? The strains of reasoning within me are playing now as a delightful duet. One melody sings of a reunion full of nostalgia, whilst the other is a morose theme about the great secret you're trying so desperately to conceal, Iris. She's turned as white as a sheet. So, as usual, you've instantly seen to the very heart of the matter. No, as usual, he's instantly seen, like, 3 inches left to the heart of the matter, and we have to go back in and be like, ding, 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 to readjust it. By the time my own brief performance is over, I feel sure this gentleman's song will reach its finale. So then, to Musicland, where all is sweetness and delicacy and harmony. Pray, do enjoy Herlock Sholmes' latest Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Man's identity. Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly, he's a German, no grasp of the English language, as evidenced by the Germanic song he sings and his apparent inability to understand when asked to desist. So why is the man here at all, and in such apparently high spirits? The answer, of course, Iris, is clearly known to you. Indeed, we need only follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to unravel the particular part of this mystery. The reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is revealed by the herbal tea. You obviously offered our German guest a cup of your latest herbal blend. The tea's delectable flavor has made the man's spirit soar. It resulted in this joyful ditty tumbling incessantly from his lips. Here he goes. I eagerly await sampling the flavor myself, that I may join the fellow in his state of elation. Now, to the next question. Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly of this scent? As it happens, a number of years ago now, a certain gentleman of German origin engaged my services in solving a particularly delicate case. He required the retrieval of letters once sent to an acquaintance that might have proved problematic. In order to conceal his noble identity, he also arrived in my office in a mask. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gottschriek Sigismund von Ormstein. Holy name, Batman. Cool. The King of Germany. If my memory serves, the mask worn by this gentleman is identical. Yes, there can be no question. That mask belongs to the King of Germany. It would appear that His Majesty remembers the fine service I afforded him, and has decided to show his face again, mask and all, in order to express his gratitude. If he shows up in a mask and he's not showing his face, but it's okay, that's just fine, don't worry about it. A well-mannered monarch indeed, wouldn't you agree, my dear fellow? So the identity of this masked visitor is in fact my former client, the King of Germany. Indeed, his son is currently in London as well, enjoying the wonders of the Great Exhibition. And identity, the King of Germany. Duh, obviously. Oh, that's only part 1. This is topic 2. He's not even done yet. Which leaves us with one remaining imponderable. Yes, you, young Iris. But your apparently inexplicable silence is unable to hide the truth. You got mixed, yeah? Well, you apparently... Oh, I already read that. Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside that knapsack. A 5-pound note, I believe. I must say, as your compatriot, I'm deeply saddened. It would appear that you allowed yourself to be bribed into silence by His Royal Highness, earning yourself some spending money in exchange for keeping quiet about the King's secret. And now, the final piece of the puzzle. What is the secret you strive to hide with your silence, Iris? Ah, yes, we need only follow that brief, involuntary twitch of your eyes to find the answer. You were attempting to abscond with that coffee cup. My favorite coffee cup, in fact. Or should I say, the handle of my favorite coffee cup. It appears that His High-Spirited Highness broke it in the midst of his hijinks. Which leads us to the sad truth. My favorite coffee cup has been broken by the King of Germany, and Iris, you tried to conceal it from me. I shall have a bill sent via governmental channels to the German royal family for its replacement. To hide the coffee cup.
Why? Why did you do that?
Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this painful puzzle. With your silence as well, the fellow's jovial warbling rather rings in the ears, does it not? Mr. Sholmes, I must say something does rather trouble me. Pray, Miss Susato, do tell. His Royal Highness doesn't appear to have moved a muscle since we arrived. Ah! And you haven't said a word either, Iris. Mr. Sholmes has it all right. You may as well own up to it now. Your reasoning isn't entirely without substance, I must admit. And one other thing, Mr. Sholmes. Yet another grievance, Mr. Naruhodo. Surely not! Well, I actually read the story of that case recently, the one you were just describing. And according to that at least, it wasn't the King of Germany, it was the King of Bohemia. Goodness, was it? Yes, that's quite true. Master Gotz, the prince testified to that in court. In his words, I have come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia. I would ask you to keep that that minor error to yourselves. It could easily become quite a scandal. I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that it's our turn now to make some corrections to a number of minor errors that may have slipped in. Yes, even Mr. Sholmes is willing to admit he might be slightly wide of the mark this time. Although it's clear that Iris is definitely hiding something. We need to find out the truth behind this mysterious scene. But one truth is incontrovertible. My favorite coffee cup is no more. So, shall we embark again on a joint presentation of Herlock Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular? Our term now. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Yeah, you know, he made... Yeah, we're going again to... Again, like I said, he always hits just a little left of the mark, and we just keep course correcting a little bit. Yep. Nationality, as evidenced by the Germanic song. Why is man here at all? And such apparent high spirits. Answer, of course. It's clearly not you. Indeed, we need only follow the gaze of those bright young eyes. The reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is herbal tea. Or is it? So, what? It's some mix of herbs that gives you the urge to sing? Goodness, I should like to try some. But I'd like to hear you singing, but this man... Just how long does he intend to keep up with that tune, do you suppose? As I said, he's been stock still the entire time, and if you look closely, his lips aren't moving either. Ah! So I'm not sure what's actually responsible for the spirited singing, but I suspect the answer lies at the end of Iris's gaze. I mean, that would definitely be it. Wait, it's a gramophone, still rarely seen in our own country. The sound certainly appears to be coming from the horn. The machine's singing, that can't be right. Science and technology are changing the world rapidly, Mr. Naruhodo. What's right is changing too. It's too much for my brain. Well, at least we found our answer. Alright.
Take that!
Gramophone. The reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is revealed by the gramophone. Indeed, for no well-bred gentleman would break into an obscure folk song when making a social call. In other words, this gentleman isn't singing at all. In fact, it would appear that that the fellow is unconscious. Ah, the music seems to have stopped now. I ask you, Mr. Naruhodo, yes? Why would I have purchased a recording of that gibberish? How should I know? Well, never mind. On with the deduction. Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly of the set? Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna be part of the whole thing, you gotta commit. You have to. It's important. Like, you know, the poses are infectious. Certain gentleman of German origin, delicate case, retrieval of letters, problematicisms, in order to conceal, gentleman's name was very lengthy, King of Germany, memory serves, the mask belongs to the gentleman is identical, no question. Mask belongs to the King of Germany. You know, it's fine. Although, we've already established that it was actually the King of Bohemia. It seems Mr. Sholmes intends to persist with his Germany theory for some reason. Come to think of it, the young prince was wearing a mask as well, wasn't he? Master Gotz, the boy who had you in tears? Don't remind me, or anyone else. Do you suppose all members of the aristocracy of mainland Europe wear masks? I'm sure they do. Well, probably anyway. The point is, that mask doesn't belong to any king. No, that's right. As we well know, because we can identify the true owner of this mask. who's wearing the mask before? I legitimately don't remember. Oh, never mind. It was Asogi. Sorry. When I was looking through, it just didn't land on his face.
Take that!
I got it. It just took a loop. It's fine. Yes, there can be no question. That mask belongs to Kazuma Asogi. In other words, my memory is sublimely unreliable. Same, Sholmes. I have never related more to Sholmes than in this exact moment. Only you could try to make that sound positive. Kazuma's mask has been languishing in this metal chest for several days, though that doesn't explain why the gentleman is wearing it now. But it is now a simple matter to determine our guest's true identity. After all, the gentleman is unconscious. We need only excuse ourselves in advance, gently lift the mask and peer beneath it. There's no way we could possibly guess who it was. Oh my god, it's exactly where I thought it was. I don't believe it. The why is still a question. Ah! Father! I'm afraid, Miss Susato, you must be Mr. No! I think not, Mr. Sholmes. Then it would appear our logic and reasoning has once again revealed the truth. Susato, you might be— Shut up, Sholmes! It's my dad! This mysterious visitor is my unconscious father, Yujin Mikotoba. Everyone has to pose. Logic and reasoning, or just looking insane. Cool. We have correctly identified the man. Wonderful. We're solving cases, Sora. Which leaves us with one remaining imponderable. Young Iris, still not talking. You're apparently silence. Truth. Using for weakness. It's inside knapsack. That's a 5-pound note poking out from Iris's knapsack, is it? Oh dear, I can't be sure. Most money that we encounter is in coin form. I know, I'm not even sure if we've seen any banknotes here in Britain at all, have we? But anyway, Father would never have paid money for Iris' silence. Certainly seems like the silent type himself, though, judging by his present state. There must be some other reason for Iris' silence, I suppose. Perhaps what Iris is trying to say is hard not to give away with her eyes, something entirely different. I mean, it could definitely be his unconsciousness. Metal chest, perhaps? I don't think it's that. It's that we know it's not the knapsack. Gotta be the metal chest then? Just for lack of other things. The Persian slipper, unlikely. Probably the metal chest. Yes, of course, Sora. Well, it's an Ace Attorney game. Well, I mean, it's great Ace Attorney game. This metal chest contains important documents, doesn't it? Yes, details of all the cases Mr. Sholmes has worked on over the years. Written up by Iris' father, if I'm remembering correctly. Iris insists that the chest is kept locked at all times. She's never once shown me inside. Well, its contents are invaluable to her, I suppose. And entirely irreplaceable. But look at it now. The catch is unlocked for once. Ah, so it is! That's hard to ignore. Fairy. Never seen that chest unlocked before, and all the time we've been staying here at Baker Street. Well,
Take that!
cool. I was pretty sure, but it's always nice to, double check. Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside that metal chest. An excellent observation, for upon closer inspection, there is something different about the chest's appearance. It's kept locked at all times, yet now, the catch is open. Evidently, this has something to do with your refusal to speak, Iris. But it's a simple enough matter to incite you to speak, I'm sure. I merely need to open this chest. Here we go. No! Hurley, don't!
He might actually be dead.
He's dead. Holy crap. Oh my goodness. Oh. The entire time I'm here thinking, maybe there's something in the tea. Maybe that knocked him out. There's a broken tea glass on the ground. Maybe he, like, something happened. Nope. And in a moment, we know exactly why he is unconscious on that couch. It's so perfect. It's just the perfect moment. It absolutely phenomenally perfect moment. The entire time I was like, was it the tea? Why is he unconscious? I get most of the rest of the stuff. And instantly it's like, yep, that's it. That's tempting, Sora, but I'd like to see the end of this sequence. Like, I was going to end probably when we hit the end of this, because it seems we may not even reach the case, the trial to start at this rate. Holy crap. That was so good. Never. Oh, Hurley, I told you not to open it. So you found your voice now, Iris. In other words, what just happened clearly reveals the truth here. Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is... This is somewhat different to the usual dance of deduction you perform with Mr. Sholmes, isn't it? Well, he's left me alone on the ballroom floor, so I'm going to have to dance the next part solo. And anyway, I need to get to the bottom of this, for my own peace of mind. Now then, Iris isn't usually the silent type, so... You mean you don't actually know the answer yet? Despite that knowing point of the finger before? Mr. Sato, sometimes a man needs to point his finger first and think later. Man, if that doesn't sum up Phoenix right, just all of it. That's it, right there. That is Phoenix Wright, the game, the man, the legacy. Holy crap. We are witnessing peak art tonight. Oh, well, if you say so. I think we better examine Iris more closely and try to rescue the situation then.
Take that!
Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is that key behind your back. When Mr. Sholmes was thrown into the air before... Just before you called out to try to stop him, you slipped something out of your mouth. That something is the key now in your hands. No doubt the key to the chest. You're so clever, Runo. So now it becomes clear. Thanks to Mr. Sholmes' graphic demonstration, we can well imagine what happened here. But... Professor Mikotoa also opened that metal chest only to be punched into the air. And land sprawled on the set. Wait, that doesn't explain all the facts. What about the stylish scarf and the cup of tea? And above all, why would he be wearing Kazuma-sama's mask? Well, for those curious details, I can think of only one explanation. Clearly, an unbelievable miracle took place in this room. Isn't that right, Iris? Consider how the room was arranged before this whole painful experience took place. I was going to say she just doctored up the body to make it harder for people to tell who it was, but no. Let's see it play out. Let's see it play out. It's an assy. No, that was Cosmo, obviously. When Professor Mikitova opened the chest completely unaware of what awaited him inside, the mask was flung into the air just as he was, only to land neatly on his face when it fell back down. And the teacup's journey through the air ended when it caught on the unconscious professor's finger. You mean to say that the stylish scarf... It's actually just a tablecloth. This is the great detective's office, after all, a place of miraculous deductions. Would you expect anything less? Yes, you're right. It happened exactly as you said. Brilliant, Runo. Thus concludes Ryunosuke Naruhodo's great deduction of this punchy puzzle. Wonderful. 11 out of 10. So then, why don't I make a fresh pot of tea for us all?
Objection!
He gets an objection! An admirable performance, Mr. Naruhodo. But in the final act of the show there, you rather missed everything of importance. But, Mr. Sholmes! If you would cast your mind back to my earlier deduction. Iris, clearly you're hiding a great secret. Ah. She is? From the look on her face. Mr. Sholmes must be right. Whatever the great secret is, the cat isn't out of the bag yet. So I put it to you again. You were attempting to abscond with that coffee cup. It really is a shame about Mr. Sholmes' cup. Must have been smashed when Professor Mikitova opened the chest. Oh dear, so many things seem to have been broken here. But now that the deduction has taken a different direction, Iris doesn't seem to be trying to hide the broken cup anymore. In other words, her great secret is something else. Let's put our observational skills to work here one final time. So worked on 428. Oh, definitely. I also love, I love the fact that whoever makes the first guess of the deduction is always slightly wrong. And yes, with hindsight of seeing Sholmes get it wrong, Naruhodo can always correct it. But then he gets it wrong, so Sholmes can be like, no, now I actually see. Except he still said it was about the coffee cup, but still, everybody gets it wrong in their first shot. So it's definitely not the coffee cup. Is it about the literal man? No. Knapsack is tempting. Ah. No. It's the case file. Ah, look! There seem to be more papers there. Is Iris trying to hide them underneath the tray? The insignia, Mr. Naruhodo. It's an official Scotland Yard document. What? But why would Iris have... We must ask her. An official Scotland Yard document.
Take that!
You were attempting to abscond with that case file. Iris, as you know very well, nothing escapes the attention of a great detective. Oh, no. We visited Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory earlier today, and Dr. Gorey informed us that the autopsy report of Clint Van Zieks had gone missing. Clint Van Zieks? Yes, I do seem to recall that some years ago I asked to see the report in question. You were with me, weren't you, Iris? You mean it was you, Iris? So those papers you have there are... I'm sorry. Forgive me! To hide the case file. Solved. To Deduction complete. Elementary. Obvious. Perfect. Well, since we're allergic to finding logical stopping points, this is the end of a segment. I was really hoping, like, I honestly thought we were going to get hit the trial part 2, and I'm sure we're like 5 minutes away. But this is a logical-ish stopping point, so I'm going to go with it. And we're close enough. Like, it's not like it's an early end. It works. It's not ideal, but it works. That would mean a since one is that they couldn't figure out how to top the deduction segment. I mean, hot damn. Hot damn. This game continues to be just a hell of a time. A hell of a time. Yep. And there's no music, thus obviously proving this is the correct answer as to when to end. As always. So. It's very good. That section alone. Whoo boy. Shoots it very high on the list. Immediately. That's so good. For now, we have ourselves a monster. A quote. Ooh, if I actually type quote right. A Discord. And,
Shut up!
変態は黙っていろ。